Good evening and salutations, my soap opera fans. Kristen Vagano makes her debut as new Molly on General Hospital. And when I saw that, the first thing I did was laugh my ass off. I always sat there, was like, whoa. Let me just rewind this back. And I'm just like, so now we are on Molly number 3. What's good, Spider Quake? Yeah, she is pretty hot. Well, she's pretty. She's somewhat. She's okay. Um, but going into the episode, I'm just like, what? So what happened with the last one? What happened with the last one? The problem is, and I said this in my review, is that it doesn't matter that she does look the part because they are writing the character. Well, they're still writing her unlikable. So it really doesn't matter at this point. They need to sit there and fix the writing, and then we can sit there and just kind of go from moving forward. But we're going to sit there and talk about all the show, GH, Days, B&B, and of course, Y&R. Now let's do a little roll call. And as I'm doing the roll call, when you're coming in, make sure that you do hit the like button. It really does actually help. It keeps me in the algorithm. It seriously does. And that's very important for any YouTuber, streamer, whatever you want to sit there and call them. Let's start with some roll call. Spiderquake is okay. Spiderquake is in the chat. What's good, Spiderquake? What's good, Spiderquake? Monique is in the chat. How you doing tonight, Monique? Queen of the South is in the chat. How are you doing tonight? It is always a blessing to see you. And Rihanna's in the chat. How you doing tonight? Thank you for joining. Melly Mel, my heart queen, is in the chat. And let me guess, you already watched tomorrow's episode of you watched tomorrow's episode of The Young and the Restless, right? Andrea's in the chat. How are you doing tonight? Yeah, see, I didn't even need to sit there and even like read that because I already know. Of course. Now, as always, I gotta sit there and check the bells and whistles to make sure that the audio is good because you just never know with StreamYard every now and then. Although I do find Duan is in the chat. What's good, Duan? Although I do find StreamYard to be better than Zoom, because Zoom just seems way too effing complicated. Laura B is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Now let's sit there and check that out. Zoom just seems way too effing complicated. Okay, we're good. So we're going on audio. Yeah, so we got a lot to sit there and talk about tonight. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Laura B is in the chat. Let's get Laura B. A little bit of soda, and then before we get into some drinks, I really do not feel like actually going to the store tomorrow if I don't have to. I'm sure. And Rihanna says, "No, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. I'm glad you are doing well." Yuan says, "Why do it? Why do it, Albert? You got rid of the best Molly ever." What do you mean? What do you mean the best Molly ever? Why you do it? Oh. It just took me a minute. Monique says the only for Finn to get rid of Sheila for good to shoot her, but the show won't let it happen. See, and that's the thing that just really annoyed me. That's the thing that just really annoyed me today. I'm just like, Taylor and everyone else are just pissing me off with constantly telling Finn, today, Taylor was like, you need to step up. You need to step up. I'm like, step up and do what? What's your solution? And then she gets to a point, she's like, I don't care how you do it. Okay, well, why don't you give him instructions? Why don't you give him instructions on how to get rid of Sheila or shut the up? Because it's so irritating at this point. Lobby says, I guess the GHP. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna probably want to fast forward and do that, but enjoy. And Lashanta's in the chat. Come through, Taylor. And what's good, Ronnie Ron? What is good, Ronnie Ron? How you doing tonight? Yeah, Taylor was annoying me today. She just came in. She's like, I don't care how you do it. Just find a way to get rid of Sheila. Okay. All these, and the thing that irritates me so much is all these people keep thinking they're telling Finn to get rid of Sheila, but they don't sit there and tell him how to do it. They don't sit there and say, well, you should sit there and do this. You should sit there and do that. You should mention this. You should sit there and approach it this way. They don't do anything except for whine and complain, and nothing gets done. Why is it? Sometimes I never know how long I'm actually on what you call it because of I love Taylor, but she should know better because she is lucky that she's free. Duane says, "Is it me or they recast Molly again?" Oh no, they definitely did. Which I mean, the last Molly didn't really look the part. So I quick set up at the reason why I'm happy for Spring the Love scene is the beginning of the end. Okay. Um, One says with the way they run through actors on GH next week. There probably will be. There probably will be at this point. I'm just so like wow. Black Mon's in the chat was good. Black Mon. Lashanta says Billy knows Phyllis did this. I knew Tucker was going across. Are you talking about tomorrow's episode? I imagine. Okay. Dave says, why do they keep changing the actress playing Molly? Because the last one wasn't good. Because the last one was not good. So I understand why they did that. The last one wasn't really good. So I get that. Lashanta says, another Molly, another Molly. But to be fair, she does look more the part. She doesn't look like super old or anything like that. Ron says, I enjoy Zan. Sarah seems to going back and forth. Yeah, they were both out of pocket to be honest. I'm glad to hear that, Black Mom. They were both out of pocket today. They really were. Sarah seemed to talk about my child first. Okay, this is something that I'm gonna sit there and say this, and I don't give a damn. This is something that just always this is a one thing that really is a pet peeve when some women say this. My child. This is my daughter. Like it inherently bothers the living mess out of me. What's good, Cheyenne? Yeah, it's been a while. How have you been? What's new with you? Um, it's something that just inherently annoys the living but Jesus out of me. She's like, I gotta protect my daughter. I was like, your daughter? You mean the fun stuff that came out of my joystick that impregnated you in the first place? You really want to sit there and talk like it's something that just annoys me. But then Xander started doing it too. It's like at that point, it's like the conversation just went to Lashanta said Chase really used so by the book, but still haven't questioned Nina. I totally forgot about that. I totally forgot about that. Cheyenne said busy working as security guard. Okay. Christopher is in the chat. What's good? It's actually good to see you. Day two. Day two. What Christine? What Christopher? What your sister chemistry with? I can tell. I'll leave that up to you. I couldn't tell. Here's a hint today about Xander is yes. Yes. But I don't know about today, but a lot of people were snitching telling me about that. Christopher, I'm glad to hear that. LaShanta, Spider Quick is joking at this point. Don't take Spider Quick seriously when he's talking about Nina with that. Freddie's in the chat. What's good, Freddie? Do not take him seriously. Um, LaShanta said Chloe flipped out. Chloe flipped quick to Philip. I'm not gonna lie, LaShanta. I was a little disappointed because I really felt like Philip should have probably been a little upset that Chloe just blurted that out and messed up his brother's plans. He should have been a little bit more upset than that. I was rooting for Sasha today when she ripped Gladys a new one. Yeah, it was a great scene. It was a great scene. Like Quick says, Albert, you don't understand. Yes, I do. Yeah, actually, yeah, I 100% do. But yes, Autumn, it was a good scene though. It was a good scene. Chloe and Philip were great scenes. Duan says, "See, Donna was wrong today because if her father was yes, and Duan, I do actually agree with that. I do, I do. I listen. I love the stand by your man thing, but when it's detrimental to his health, you're not doing him any favors." Ariana says, "Sasha got in Gladys Hubbard. Doesn't she still almost? Yes, she still does. Yes, she still does." Spikequick says, "What did I mean though? You said that Sasha did. You said that Nina didn't do anything wrong." Autumn says, "Hey, okay." Lorby says, "Yes, the actress." Um, and you know exactly what I mean. Nina didn't do anything wrong. Autumn say, Albert, what did you think of the scenes between Finn and Liam? I can see both sides. I see both sides of where they're coming from. I don't like the fact that Liam just walks in and out of the house like, "What's good, Jay Blue?" I don't like the fact that Liam just walks in the house, in and out the house, like he owns the place. And I don't like the fact that he's using, "Oh, I miss Kelly," as a way to sit there and go there and see Steffi, because yeah, you are sitting there undermining their marriage. But with Finn, it's like, Finn's to saying, "Stay away from my wife." I'm like, what are you talking about? They share a daughter. You can't like that is an unrealistic expectation. You can't sit there and just simply cut out Finn. Um, you can't cut out Liam from Steffi. That's just they share talent. It's unrealistic. So I saw both of their sides. And what's good, Makai? Okay, so what did you mean by that then? What do you mean by that then, Spider Quick? That's what I called it. Yes. Well, also you could have possibly okay, yeah, sure. Um, I don't because his thing. You always sit there and watch the further episode. You always sit there and watch the next day episode before before it before it comes through. So, what's good, Dolly? Fight Quick says, Lashanta said, Chase your question, what did when she didn't do anything to Ned. Oh, all right. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I'll give you that, Spike Quick. But yeah, I don't know if you called it because you already seen the episode, or you just called it because, well, either way you called it. So Lashanta says Nick told Nikki what Vic's doing. Yeah, that is true. Ned did fall because he's an idiot. Um, Pretty sure he told his kids countless times to not run in a pool. And that's literally what he wound up doing. Ron says, I would agree with you that Fang can't do ish about Liam will be at Steffi's house because she says that he can come over there and don't tell me anything about their marrying for now. Well, I agree with you that Fang can't do ish about Liam will be at Steffi's house because she can. Yeah, but I mean, they. And what do you mean? And don't tell me anything about they're married now. I don't think you under Ron. I don't think you understand how married life works. Like I don't think you understand what married life works. How married life works. Freddie says the $1 million question is Sasha wearing an effing wire. I was hoping that, but I feel like even if she was wearing a wire, it would have been admissible, and it wouldn't have been. They wouldn't count that as evidence. Dolly says, "What did you think of the?" I Here's the thing, Dolly. I understood where both of them were coming from. Um, Dolly, because I do feel. By the way, if I miss people's comments, because I feel like people are gonna have to get used to the idea that I can't catch every person's comments. But with that being said, Dolly, I understood where both of you were coming from. Xander clearly did not understand that he was doing some bad stuff, and there was a reason why Sarah kept the truth from him, right? There's stuff that he didn't exactly really own up to, or he never really felt like he was remorseful of. So I understood where Sarah was coming from. Sarah did kept pissing me off when she was snitching, talking about my child and my daughter this, my daughter that. Like that did start to get annoying. It did. Um, it sucks all around, but I get where she's coming from now. That's just my take on it. Um, if I have time tomorrow, maybe I'll sit there and do a review on Days of Our Lives. Autumn says if Gladys still owes Miss Wu money, someone needs to bring Sonny in on the no so he can handle Miss Wu. Yes, I agree with that because it's now getting out of hand. And Pop is in the chat. We'll get and Pop. Ron says yes, I do understand that, but Stephanie gave him a key to her house. Only she can get. So like I said, Ron, you don't understand marriage life. You don't. Just because somebody says, yeah, you can come, you can come in whenever you want to sit there, doesn't mean that. Okay? There's boundaries, there's decorum. When you're married, you don't just get to walk in somebody's house whenever you want just because y'all share a child. But again, you don't understand married life. Yes, Brady is the third one. Now, Dolly says, I really found myself on Team Sarah after today. Sarah made some good. Yeah, she did. And that's why I had to reconsider my position on yes, exactly, Spiderquake. And it like I said, it irritates me. It irritates me. It really does, Spiderquake. It really irritates me, especially when someone would sit there and say that. Duane says Sheila Carter has been looking good this week. She actually has. She actually has. I'm not gonna lie, Duane. She's looking good. That's true, Mel. That's why I said they both made some good points. Dolly says I love Sarah's point about them living in a mansion. It reminds me how Albert calls out when rich characters act like they're struggling. Yes. Yeah, I'm not exactly. I don't. The problem is, it's still Darby. What's good, Darby? Darby says if Steffi owned her house before she married Finn, then that house belongs to Steffi. If they brung it together, no. Apparently, she owned the house. No, she owned the house before. She owned that house before they got married. So Ariana says all Sasha has to do is stand in the doorway of Sunny's office and she will get anything she wants or needs. You would honestly think that now would be the time to sit there and call in Sunny. Ron said Taylor is my girl, but she should know better. How she talks about Finn needs to step up with is she and Lee trying to do. Yeah, it was a frustrating scene to watch. When they said all of a sudden Victoria thinks that Victor is losing it when she gets the it's exactly Monique. That's exactly what Nick said. That's exactly what Nick said. Nick said the same thing, and I'm like, it just is. I'm the problem is Monique. It's not to sit there and say that maybe her feelings isn't valid, but I'm not going to sit there and try to act like it's not controlled a little bit by her motivation to get her job back. Lashanta says, I can't wait till all Nina's lies come out. Yes. When they Mel says Alexander told the truth that it's different what she did keeping. Yeah, that's what I said. They both made valid points. Um Dolly says Xander, I had to prove for you, I had to provide for you, Sarah. Dude, I'm a doctor and we're living in a mansion. Yes. Ariana says, I know we keep saying this, however, when Sunny and Anna were sitting in the chapel and they said they feel a shift in their power, perhaps more than ever, Maurice is planning to leave. Yes, well, yes, and I'm glad you did bring that up, Ariana, because he did sit there and say like years ago, people wouldn't have tried him. Years ago, no one would have really sat there and defied Sonny's orders. Now people are doing whatever they want. Needs Jason back. Makai says chicken pot pie for dinner. Okay. Uh, Duan said Taylor was talking to Finn like she needed to talk to Ridge. Yeah. I remember seeing. Um, what's good, Danny? How's everything going? Darby says, but Liam shouldn't go there when Steffi and Kelly aren't there without Steffi's written permission. Liam's out of pocket. Finn should have left that house when she left. Yeah, well, I don't know about the second part, but yes, the first part, yes. That's exactly what Smith is trying to explain to Ron, but he doesn't understand married life. Like, it doesn't give you carte blanche to just walk in, you know, the mother of your kid's house whenever you want to, just because she says that, you know? Ariana says, I don't know Zen and Sarah, and I laughed over the over the comment. Oh, that's when they're coming back, Mel? Ariana says, Anna looks truly scared and shaken by what happened to her. Which is so odd. She's supposed to be this tough super spy. Like, what happened with that? Seriously, what happened with the tough super spy stuff? Okay. Hmm. Lashantra said Donna made me mad today, manipulating EJ. I mean, RJ. Yeah, I was sitting there and say it wasn't cool what she did. It wasn't. I understand. Makai said, "How was Wynard today?" It was decent. I do feel like Wynard was actually better than General Hospital for some odd reason. I'm not gonna lie. General Hospital today was not really that good. It really wasn't. It really was not that good today. Ariana says, "I think it's so close to her heart." I mean, I get emotions and everything, and I just, I don't know. I'm still a little disappointed. I'm still a little disappointed, but I get it. It's a soap opera, so you gotta sit there and show. I don't know. Danny says, "I'm doing good. How are you doing now? How are you doing, Danny? How is life? How's everything?" Ron says, "Aubrey is her house, and if she gives him the permission to come over, then so be it." I keep forgetting that I'm talking to you, and you're the person I want Sheila to have a baby. So, yeah, sure, Ron. Sure. Ron says, "How can Liam give written permission when stuff?" You're talking to Ron. Like, I mean, do you actually want to have a drink before you decide to ask those questions to Ron? I feel like you should have a drink before you decide to ask those questions. I really do. I think you need. I think you don't need to be sober when you start asking Ron questions. Not liking GAs too much. Yeah, I mean today's episode again was more of a filler than anything. What the? Ariana says I agree with the exception of Sasha and Gladys. JH was not. Yeah, that's what I said. Like they brung it. They brung it. Ron says now the OG writers are back. I hope and his house gets rebuilt. Freddie says Brooke Ann Smith, who's the last recast Molly was, her brother came to her defense because GH fans were complaining about her age and her playing the role. Yeah, it's. I know. I remember that. Cherry ice cream was good. I get it. It wasn't a good role for her, But I get that people can be really nasty though. Also, Christopher says even if Xana didn't cause Susan to die, he still kidnapped her. Yeah, exactly. It's like, and I agree with that. The goddess Jess is in the chat. Was good, Jess. Darby says Liam's so full of himself that he thinks he can step over any boundaries that Finn sets up at will. Yeah, like I said, it's definitely an out of pocket sort of thing. Rashanta says, I remember Finn also went to Liam's office. He asked him to leave and he was busy. Finn said he didn't care and closed the door. That's true. That's true. You got a point. You got a point. Dolly says, oh wow, video about Phoenix Jermaine from Ron. Yep, Ron, yep, we all know about that. Um Dolly says, I also think that it freaks Sarah out that Xana used her to justify things now, saying Sarah's the reason he had to kidnap, steal, possibly unalive people, making Sarah almost just as guilty. Yes, yes, yes to all that. Just I'm glad we got to skip some. Here's the thing, just I actually want to listen to at least two of those songs. And then when he started singing like the whole song dedicated to Olivia, I was like, yeah, I'm not feeling this. I was like, yeah, I'm not. I was like, I'm not feeling this song. Jakaris, how have you been? How have you been, Jakaris? Duane says Albert got to get that check from the boss of Baltic Enterprises. Well, it depends. It depends on how generous Jess is. Jess, I was curious. I was curious. I mean, the beats didn't sound bad, so I was like, okay, I want to sit there and see where it goes. Oh, you did? Okay, I gotta check it out. I gotta check it out, Jakaris. Yeah, it didn't sound bad first few seconds of it. And then he started singing, and I was like, oh yeah, this is terrible. Just I'm so glad we got a new Molly. She looks better in the part. Yeah, Jess, I said the same thing. Um, but again, my issue is it's not even so much the look. It's Kristen says I can't stay too long. Long day. I'm beat. Kristen, how you doing today? It is really good to see you again. Jolie says, how was new Molly today? Was she a better fit? She had the look. She had the look. Yeah, cherry ice cream. We actually have a new Molly. All right. Well, you have a good night, Monique. It was really great to see you. Thank you for stopping through. Yep, third time. LaShanta said on the preview, Jordan's talking to the warden. The corrupt warden. Yes, cherry ice cream. We got a new Molly. The thing is, we didn't. The problem is, okay. The problem is with this new Molly is that she is still being written as unlikable, right? We saw it today. Christina walks up to Molly, and Molly don't say ish. Let's not to say I don't care about Molly, okay? Um, so anyway, she still comes across as unlikable. That's the problem. Just as Spencer was pissing me off, damn, I'm running for Sabrina. I thought that whole thing was a waste of time, to be honest. Oh, we can't go because Baby Ace got something going on. Okay, we can go now because Baby Ace is totally fine. What the was the point of that? Ariana said Jordan is no mess is not messing the water better think about what's right. Jordan is no mess, the warden better think about what's right. Bobby says I love that Sarah readings an entire rap sheet. He said I don't care if he added his unpark his unpaid parking tickets. He said I don't care, that's my child, I'm not going anywhere. Sylvia says, "Oh, speaking on likable, Wendy shows some accountability today." You put my name in big letters. Albert, thank you. Has made Spencer, Josh, and Trainer War useless. Kind of a strong word, but I guess I kind of said the same thing. It's just all right. It didn't really do anything. Um, Kristen says New Molly didn't have much to say or acting, so it's difficult. Yeah, that's exactly what I said, Kristen. We got to sit there and see more of her. I mean, yeah, he can say he's sorry, but that's only part of it, though, and that he has changed. Here's the thing, though. He changes until something happens, and he changes right back. The changes don't generally stick because most people who they are going to be who they are. Change is very rare with people, and you've seen multiple times where um why does Sarah get on your nerves, Jakaris? Says Sarah got on my nerves. Why? I want Zane to beat the hell out of Rex Brady's face. Brady said this is what got me when the line Sarah said to Glass, I honestly thought that you loved me. Ariana said Trina and Spencer need to get some love in the afternoon and it's yeah. It's about that time. Terry Ice Cream says no one knew who knew Molly was. Didn't answer my questions, Jakaris, but okay. Um, Buckwick says, Albert, you're wrong. A new house voice. You know what? That's very true. That's actually very true, Spikewick. Make a very good compelling argument. Let's not to say rape and Jade are out their jurisdiction. Yeah, they said something like, "Oh, they're working with the ISA" or something like that. But yeah, no, you're totally right, Lashanta. Yeah, Ron. Yeah, that. Um, yeah, I agree with that. Okay, but yeah, like I said, Sarah is a hypocrite. I mean, no, somebody said Bobby says happy birthday to your daughter Kristen. Okay, happy birthday. I didn't remember reading that, but I guess I'm looking at so many comments. It really wasn't just. It really wasn't. Um, it's like out of the four shows that I watch, it's still at the bottom. It's still at the bottom. Yeah, I thought so too, Mel. But it wouldn't have done him any good though. Ron says, Albert, I'm all for Ava and Harrison being together. Spikequick says, Albert, you ain't that old to keep up. Okay, Spikequick, how about you sit there and switch positions with me? You can sit there and switch positions and give it a go. Darby says you always praise Victor Kiriakis. He was the villain who goes back and forth that line when he needed to do, but you don't hold his feet to the fire. What gives? Hmm? Um, just said just said Kristen, not Kristen, not Kristen. Okay, Kristen. Okay. Anyway, um, yeah, I'm actually having a hard time pronouncing her name. Adoli said they have made Trip look so stupid in the last couple of scenes. I just, I don't know. I don't know about Trip at this point. I really don't. Like, I just his character isn't really doing much. I mean, like they have him doing stuff, but it's like they paired him with Wendy, which is already unlikable. Freddie says Sasha gritted her teeth at Gladys being angry. I was like, slap that heifer twice. Ariana says, Albert, when winter hits you hard, it is hard to get out. It is hard to get out. Yes. I mean, it's not impossible to get out. It's more of it doesn't hit us that hard where we can't like leave, which is actually really good because I know some places like when it snows hard. Um, we can leave. We usually don't want to. Most of us just don't want to. Ron says, I was someone in a comment on Sophia was saying that Sheila is 60 and it's impossible for her to have. Well, Ron, are you a doctor? Are you a doctor, Ron? Because you said that you disagree. Are you a doctor? What is your profession? I'm very curious about that. You seem to saying that you disagree. So, Stranger Things, The Last of Us shows can do little work. Hmm. It's interesting. I mean, I haven't actually watched any of those shows, but Bobby says I'm sure many fans want Sasha to slap. Bobby said Trip was outsmarted by Rafe. Rafe is the worst cop in daytime. It's like Rafe and Trip became either smarter or dumber based on who they're sleeping with. Never looked at it like that. Swag Quick says, Albert, have you ever agreed on it? No, actually, I have. Here's the thing, Swag Quick. I say 90% of what Ron says is out there, and 10% of what he says is it makes sense. So he gets 10% out of the time when he writes a comment where he makes sense. I don't know why, Dolly, but I just feel like his character has just become so useless, like so pointless. Oh yeah, it's a TV show. Yeah. Well, the problem is, Ron, TV shows, especially soap operas, has to be somewhat grounded, right? I mean, would you want Sheila to sit there and start having superpowers? I mean, you want her to get pregnant, right? Why don't she just have superpowers at this point? Because even if it is a soap, stuff has to be in somewhat grounded reality. Jonathan, what's good, Jonathan? Where the hell is that name at? Is it Kristen? I think it's Kristen, not Kristen, but I think it's Kristen. Maybe I'm just pronouncing it wrong. Wonderful Knife, Christmas slash horror movie from the director. Hmm. You know, Mel, actually, tell you the truth, I saw Saw. I saw the Saw preview, and I thought about you. I haven't watched Saw in so long. I only saw the first Saw. Spy Quick says also heard Oh Christine may come back, which is I think is a lie. Just says who's Kristen? I don't know, Jeff. I'm trying to pronounce her name, but clearly it's not. It's clearly not. Clearly I was not getting the name right the first time, but I will get it though. I will get it. Dolia says Sheila is basically the Terminator. The way she survived major injuries and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. That I don't know. I don't know what B&B sometimes. I really don't. Really don't. Gemini, what's good, Gemini? I mean, for the most part, B&B isn't a bad show, but they're getting. Hmm. Johnson says I think they focus more on the nightclub scene on Jace and nothing, and not enough of Sasha confronting confrontation with Gladys. Thank you, Darby. Yes, hit the like button. It really does actually help. Really does. Let's see where we're at the likes. Check that. Thank you, Darby. Just hit the stuff with Eddie Main ruined the episode. Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, even the stuff with like Trina and Spencer and everything like that, that also was just kind of pointless as well. Uh, Christopher said, "Whatever happened to Phyllis and Brad?" Exactly. Christopher has a very good point. I gotta sit there and read into that because it may have something to do with the actors. That's a damn good point, especially with Miss Wu and Brad. I'm so glad that you're actually in this chat. Okay, we got 21 likes, so Lashanta says, why Sam trusted Sasha with Gladys? Why not? Gemini says, so Victor gave Charlotte those cards and told her that Anna was dangerous. Damn, those cards belonged to Helena. She used them on Luke, Laura, and I don't understand why is Charlotte trusting Victor. That's the part that just blows me. Nothing is canon until yeah, yeah. That's no. You're right, mom. That's the problem though. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna go and see Aquaman, but like, what's really the point? What's the point? Nothing changes. Okay, we got 22 likes. So that's something. Um, but nothing changes. So what's really the point? It's like the Flash. Um, Dolly says it's a Sasha and Gladys thing really good because you're saying Carly went off on Ava yesterday, but that came across like some soccer mom. I like that. I mean, I think people enjoyed it more than me. So Big Nate was good, Nate. Johnson says it looks like Philip and Chloe are getting back together. Which is, I'm not gonna lie, Jonathan, which is some real off-brand BS. It's watching them have a conversation was just so stupid. Like it was just like I don't I don't understand that. Jess said, what do you mean? Why is Charlotte trusting? Well, I mean, she read the letter. She has questions about Anna. But my whole thing is like she didn't like you know what I'm saying? Like the conversation that she was having with Victor before was like, why is this okay? The conversation she was there having with Victor before is just like she knew that she was in boarding school way longer than she was supposed to be because of Victor. So it's like, why at this point is she even really trusting Victor? Like, why would she even accept a gift from Victor? And she knew that Victor kept her away from her dad. Um, Nate said at this point, the cast of Molly from GH has been a clown show since day one. Hopefully, this is the last Molly will be recast. Darby said to go to the movies. That's the point, Albert, to take him. No, I mean, no, I get it. I get it. I'm just like, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna give the movie a chance. I'm gonna be honest. I part of me is kind of going in there with a bit of bitterness, to be honest. I don't like the idea of just dudes just coming in and just ripping everything apart. Dolly said Chloe went back to fill up with the speed of light. I mean, she basically mentally dropped Xander as soon as he heard about the yeah. Kristen says Jake is about to get his heart broken. Charlotte is definitely using him. Just I mean, Spencer knew all of Victor's bad doings and still F with him. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Um, I mean, I think with Spencer, there was Victor was doing a lot of stuff for Spencer, so it was kind of a trade off. You know, he wanted to get sole custody of Ace, So he chose to sit there and rock with Victor. You know, he knew that Victor could sit there and do stuff for him. It's Kristen. That's or Kristen. Ten? Oh, it's Kristen. Okay. Do you want to say maybe since the OG writers are back, they would finally make this Blackman story will come to an end. Kristen. Okay. Uh, Darby says Charlotte is a child. Victor manipulated her. Isn't that hard to do? He's been doing that to adults. Yeah, that's true. Chris. Uh, hmm, Crystal. Okay. I'm gonna get your name at some point. Gemini says when Phyllis gets caught, I'm going to laugh my tail off. Just to be clear, we are talking about the Young and the Restless. We are talking about the Young and the Restless Phyllis, right? I know, Dolly. I'm trying. Seriously, I'm trying. Um, yeah, but yeah, we are talking about. Oh no, I agree. Okay, yeah, Gemini. No, I agree. Okay, we are back. And yes, you can now continue. Thank you. Christian. That's right, I am back. Gemini says Nick has smoke for Adam is like, what's news when your sister is the one trying to knock your father off his throne? Val says it's confirmed that James Gunn. Yeah, I'm. What? Okay, no, that's cool. Yeah, I still gotta. There's so much stuff I gotta sit there and catch up on what you call it. Johnson says, to be honest, I didn't even notice the recast voice over for Molly in the beginning. I actually thought at that point, really, I was more surprised when they actually said that. I was like, wait, what? Gemini says, good for Mimi. Jill treated her and talked to her like ish. Now she owns part of her company, and this is why you don't understand. This is why you don't underestimate people. Yeah. Hmm. I. Here's the thing. I know that those scenes probably would not hold up today, right? Like just Gemini, just optics wise. Johnson says, how do you feel about the new Molly? She looks the part. We haven't seen much of her acting, but hopefully, if her acting is good, then we got something. The problem is, Jonathan. Even with that being said, here's the thing: even if she is a good actress and she's good in the role, we're still not going to like Molly because Molly is being written in a very um she's being written in a way where she's unlikable. She's being written as very unlikable. So it's like, yeah, that $400 shirt, 400, $500, yeah. Justice says, I'm actually familiar with the actress. She's been on some Lifetime movies. Oh, that's. To be fair, I'm not going to sit there and judge them from Lifetime because um, here's the thing is, Jonathan, when I think of Lifetime movies, I think of Hallmark movies. Those very cheesy, super cringy kind of movies. Um, Darby says, I just want to have one day where Adam lets loose and tells Nikki what he really thinks of her and her spoiled brat in front of Victor. Crystal? Christian. Is it Christian? I think that's how you pronounce your name, Christian. Kristen. Haley is going. Is it is nope up to not up to ABC. Is casting director and of course if California to decide if she leaves if she ever returns to acting or GH. I don't know, Jess. I'm trying. Trying. Johnson says Lifetime movies are way different. Black Moms, thank yes. Hit the like button. Chris Dan? Kristen? Oh, Kristen. Kristen. Is that it, Jonathan? Kristen? I think I got it this time. Kristen. He's saying the same thing. Wrong as hell. Oh, okay. I got an idea. I got an idea. Johnson says not Stan. No N at the end. Crystalline. Okay, crystalline, right? Is that actually how you pronounce it? Crystalline? Very curious if I'm right about that. And then Gemini says, Albert, stop adding the N. Why does it keep? Yes. DC's in the chat. What's good? What's good, DC? Just said I'm laughing. I've never seen no ifs like this. Cat Lady. Kelly says you can just sing Kristen Lang so she can sing you it as. I thought that's what it was. Two syllables. I thought that's what it was. What's good, DC? Now, Cat Lady says DC help Albert with her name. Crystal Hopkins is in the chat. Okay, that's good for you, Spikequake. Ruby says you're talking this so well. You're taking this so well. She is taking it well. Just says DC says Albert State mispronounced names. I do. How can you say Christoph and not Chris? I don't know. Kelly says say taco. Yeah, taco. Janet's in the chat. What's good, Janet? Spike Quick says, Albert, you know how Lucy says tis tis. Oh, ta. Chris Krista? I mean Krista? Is that how you say it? Krista? Let me know if I actually said it right. Krista, right? I think I got it right this time. No, that's what I said. Krista, like ta. Okay, good. I got it. Hmm. Darby says, Albert, said let's move on and just do it. No, actually, tell you the truth. Pastor says Nata is star. So yeah, Chris Star. Like Ta, like Chris Star. Right? Chris yeah, that's what I said. Chris Star. Old school playback story. But no, Spike, you actually did help them. Now Chris Ta says Albert doesn't mean any harm. It is commonplace in my world. Okay, well now I got it though, Jess. Now I got it. Uh now I got it. He says I feel like Albert's be trolling us with his mispronounctions. Well, actually, tell you the truth, everyone did help, but Spyquake, I'm not gonna lie, that was actually pretty good. Spyquake actually got me out of a clutch. When you said Lucy, that's always like, okay. John says maybe you should have one of one of talk to your live, one of talk to you live. Yo, Jonathan, if you want to come through, I'll send you the link. I will send you the link. If my effing phone, yes, Jesus Christ, it's like this phone is just. Rashanta says Tucker is so shady. Well, I mean, yeah, he's Tucker. Oh my goodness, this phone is like. Chris Todd says, guys, leave off the lawn. I don't. No, but I remember what you call it is. I will. I'll find you the link. I will send it to you. Say pasta and then say Krista. Oh, yeah, Krista. Johnson says, say pasta and then say Krista. They sort of rhyme. Pasta Krista. Okay. Bobby said that was fun when people joined. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I'll definitely be down if people want to sit there and come through tonight. You said it perfectly. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Albert is used. Yeah, yeah. Um, Thank you, Spider Quake. I actually tell you, yeah. I mean, granted, everyone did help out. I think when Spider Quake said Lucy, that's when it just like really clicked. Um, but no, it's one of those things where it's like you have to be able to sit there and laugh at yourself and not take yourself too seriously. Otherwise, it's just DC says, "What if I Hulk?" Oh, of course. One second. I'm not ignoring anyone. I promise. There we go. All right, I sent it. Just says, "Don't be on that boomer energy like Albert." See, what just really means is, you know what? I'm not gonna even gonna sit there and say it. I'm I'm gonna let it go. All right, Krista. Have a good night. Thank you for joining. And thank you for being a good sport. Crystal says, "What happened to the big that asked me who's going to stop Spencer and Trina from going to New York?" I don't think anyone actually said that. Just say, I dare you." uh, Christopher says, "Days is my favorite soap opera." That actually really is good. And Spikequick says, "You got to say it now." I forgot what it is. I don't think it was actually anything bad. So I love how Spikequick is. I love how Spikequick said, "You got dared to do it, so you got to do it." I don't remember it now. But when I remember it, I will definitely say it. I will definitely say it. And then Spikequick says, "Depending on what it is, on what it be." Just said, "Now you don't remember it." Yeah, okay. No, I don't remember it now. That is very true, Spider-Quake. I am a boomer. So, sometimes I remember stuff and then it just, kind of comes and goes. And Danny says, looking for move to TikTok. Okay. TikTok is a good platform. Probably you skipped. Freddie says, I skipped. What did I skip? Oh, there we go. Freddie says, Albert, that scene of Gladys and Sasha took me back to my old high school ass kicking days. This bully kept messing with me every day. I got to the point I beat the ish out of that MF. I put his ass in a wow. Hmm. Good for you. I don't like bullies. Fred Spikequick says, but also I forgot easily to do this new gen and boomer gen have that in common. Then he says, but how is your experience with TikTok? Um, it's been good so far. None of my videos got deleted. My At the bare minimum, my videos get like maybe 300, 200. Um, the algorithm is actually really good. So I think you'll actually like it on TikTok. I haven't actually even um uploaded anything on TikTok in a hot minute. So yeah, no, Freddie, no, you got it. Yeah, I'm happy for you on that one. Because if you don't deal with them, they're just going to. Janice says, "I like the new." You mean you like new Molly, right? Or do you actually mean that you like new Christine? Because I'm pretty sure you like the new Molly. Just says, "Where's Kyrie's?" Yeah, it was weird. Kyrie's. I know Kyrie's is here yesterday. Yeah, I figured that's what you meant. I figured that's what you meant, Janet. Cat Lady says Willow was a 10 today. Cat Lady, are you joking? Or are you being serious? I want to know if you're joking or if you're being serious. There we go. Oh yeah, no, I can't stand bullies either. Yeah, she's good so far. I mean, she has the look, Janet. I'll give her that. DC, the one and only.
Love Enterprises. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I hope
Okay.
everyone else can, but
Perfect. 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 All right
no, she
now.
did, but she's not a 10 though, cat lady. Um, what's good, DC? How's everything going? How's everything going in your world?
Good. I thought I'd just pop in for a second today and see what's going on. So,
You
how is
know
everything?
me just mispronouncing things like there's no tomorrow. Nothing there.
Yeah, yeah, I remember you used to call me DC Sanctuary Soap for like I think it was a few months.
Seriously? Shit. Oh my god, my bad. No, but I mean, honestly, tell you, like I said, when I first saw your channel, I was like, "You're good," you know. Like I knew that right off the bat, even
I
when I did mispronounce your name.
yeah, call me
Your whole
DC Sanctuary Soap.
wow.
But I get it. My name is a bit of a tongue twister. It can be a bit of a tongue twister sometimes. So I do understand that. It can be a bit of a tongue twister.
So
You just freeze up?
what's, no, I'm good, but you're like there was some static with you.
Yeah, I
You
saw
good
that. I
now?
saw that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Now you good now. You
Okay.
good now.
Okay.
So what's up?
Okay.
What's good? What's going on?
I mean, I'm here. Like I said, I just got a class. I managed to catch some soaps early. I managed to catch a little bit of some soaps. Just managing it here, just managing do my thing. I started to come on because man, I haven't. I hate being behind the soaps. I'm not used to this. Being behind the soaps like this, like on a regular basis. But
Well,
I managed to
you
catch.
got things going on. You got
Yeah,
school and life and you're dating and everything like that. So it's kind of hard to do a lot.
dating is like a full time job. That's another full time job in itself. It's a full
Yeah.
time job.
So
uh,
did you see GH today?
no, I didn't, but I did see that we have a new Molly. I looked it up, and I don't think it's good when a role has been recasted like 3 times in less than 6 months. I feel like that's never a good thing in a sense. Um, it's yeah, it's been because
Hmm.
three times they recast the role Molly in these past 6 months, in
Yes.
less than 6 months.
Yeah. What are you looking at? comments.
Am I freezing up?
You did for a second, but now you're good. Though. Now you're good.
I'm on hotel Wi-Fi, so that's probably why. It could be me. It could be me. I'm on hotel Wi-Fi, so that could be why.
How is that hotel, by the way?
I was pretty nice. I mean, the background here is giving like Casa La Forester on Bold and Beautiful. I feel like the Regal vibes, and it has like a little hot tub here in the corner. So it's nice.
Wait, it actually has a hot tub though.
It does have a hot tub.
Oh, nice.
Well, like a jet setted tub that you can sit in. It has a regular bathtub and then a jet setted tub.
Yeah, I'm saying that's pretty cool though.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. So I guess go out, come out here for school is not too bad. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. So I try to
God damn,
manage as I can.
you got a damn hot tub in there. I think that's actually above most hotels and stuff like that. So
Yeah, and it's not super expensive either from what most hotels are. So I was kind of like grateful for that. So like I said, I'm usually out here like 3 days a week, and I go back to South Florida the other half of the week. Um, once this portion on week is over. So it's like very intensive and stuff like that. And then like I said, I'm in a relationship, so I see them every other weekend, trying to balance it out. It's giving a little bit of Mayor Collins. I come back from time to time, like little special appearances. I can.
like you do with the channel. I have to tell you the truth, I think you're like 600 something subscribers, almost up to 700, right?
Almost up to 700. Almost 700. It's crazy because the guy that I'm seeing right now, like he looked at my channel, he's like, damn, like if you were like really consistent, you probably could have surpassed 1,000. And I was like, yeah, I think so too. I think so too. But hey, what you gonna do?
No, but like you said in one of your other videos, you pretty much did everything that you set out to do.
Right.
So it's like, it's not like, oh man, you're right. It's like I did, regardless of everything else, like I did the stuff that I set out to do.
Right. Right.
And you had your first interview that actually came to you. So you did everything, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the channel almost accomplished its all. Like it can now ascend. It can now transition into the next world. Because I feel like it did everything it was supposed to do, but I still love doing it. I think doing the sanctuary reflections has kind of helped a little bit. Like still, because I still love talking to soaps. That's just never gonna change. That's never gonna change. Like if anything's been consistent in my life, people have come and go, men have come and gone. Have been consistent. So it's been the only consistent thing for me. So I'm always trying to find a way to still keep on the soaps. Now days, I'm always fully caught up on days. Because like I said, Peacock, I love how they post it right in the morning. It's streaming. It's not. It's more days is just more accessible for me to watch out of all the soaps. So I'm always caught up.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing a whole commercial free thing because I can't sit there and deal with those damn. I don't have the patience for that. So I think like
Right.
next week I'm gonna sit there and get like the commercial free thing because I just yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. See, now see, listen, days I don't mind too much of the commercials because I mean it's so many different streaming platforms. Now, The Young and the Restless, it's free, but if you want like to like watch from a week ago, if you're a week behind, then you have to get the Paramount Plus for all that type of stuff. So as long as you watch on time with Y&R and a little bit of B&B, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay.
Yeah,
You're gonna be
I
okay.
I do actually have Paramount Plus though because
I do too.
there's times I may not be home but I want to sit there and like watch stuff though. So
Right,
even
right,
if I want to watch like the soaps or whatever, I could sit there and just watch it on my phone, and just be done.
right. Because it's like so many different streaming apps one has to like take on, like to watch the soaps. Where you have to now like go here, go there, go this place, go that place. I mean, it's like 3 different apps: Hulu, Paramount Plus, and Peacock. So it's not too bad.
No, but when you have other you have other streaming platforms as well, then it starts to add up. Like how many streaming apps do you actually have?
Okay, so I have YouTube Premium, I have Paramount Plus with Showtime, I have Hulu, you think I would have a Netflix, but I don't. I'm debating getting
Wow.
that. I know you
Whoa.
think I would, right? You think I would. You
I
think
don't
I
know if
would.
I can even talk to you at this point. You said you have a Netflix. Christ.
I think I might want to because Netflix has some stuff on there, but I have Paramount Plus, Peacock, Hulu, YouTube Premium, and there are some other platforms I subscribe to, like independent like shows and stuff like that. Oh, Discovery Plus. I have Discovery Plus, so we're looking at like kind of like 6 or 7 right now. Um, what else is there? Discovery Plus. I think that's about it. Yeah, I think that's about it. But altogether, I think the total of all those is like $30.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I'm probably paying more than $30, but that's
because the Peacock I got it for one ninety
you took
nine,
out for like 199.
199. Hulu's 299. YouTube Premium is 699. Um, I think my Amazon Prime Video is free.
12? What?
It's free, and then Discovery Plus is 699. Um, I know altogether like a total of it is like $7 because I got the student discounts on all of them. You just get like a student email address, and
Oh,
then
okay.
the prices go down. Because before I was paying like $15.99 for YouTube Premium, so before it was like probably close to maybe like 70, 80 a month, which is weird. How I never calculated that before. So I started doing some math. I'm like, how can I cut this down a little bit?
No, when you said like you said your Amazon was free, I was like, I'm sorry, what? Because I know for me, whenever I get Amazon, it's like 14, 12
Right,
something dollars, and that's on top of my Netflix. But like for me, I have Hulu and I have Disney Plus, so I just bundle them together.
right. And there was another one I had. What was it? Where oh god, what was I used to get the free one all the time. Pluto, not Pluto.
Yeah,
Philo,
Tubi?
Philo was on Philo.
Okay.
Philo was on Philo. Because I had other cable channels on like Lifetime and stuff. And what I would normally do is like I would get the week trial and say, hey, I didn't get the week. I really love to experience this. And if you tell them that, email them, they'll give you the month. And after the month is over, I make a new email address. Like it's like I go
You
from
got the
Kristen to
hustle
Susan,
down
pretty much.
now.
I go from Kristen to Susan, put on the disguise. Go from Kristen to Susan, say, "Hey, like I'm a new subscriber. Can I get another free month?" By the way, they got
I like that. I like that. My dude he got the hustle going.
because I
I
have
kind
seven
of
different email addresses, so it works.
okay. I kind of want to sit there and get Discovery Plus or whatever because I want to sit there and watch those 90-Day Fiance shows because they just look absolutely effing
I've been binge
bonkers.
watching them. Yes, I have binge watching. Yes, I had first gotten Discovery Plus for like something else, but then I saw 90 Day Fiance, and then I was just watching it on through.
And like I said, there's actually one person that I used to know on 90 Day Fiance. I think his name was Jason Hicks or something like that.
Like in real life,
Yeah,
Jason Hicks. Let me look this man up.
I
Jason
think
Hicks,
his name
right?
is Jason. Yeah, I think so. It's Jason something. It starts with an H.
90 Day Fiance. Oh, he died, right?
Yeah,
Oh, dang. Hitch. Yeah, Jason Hitch. How'd you know him?
yeah. I actually told you if we met on Instagram, and then we
Wow.
would sit there and like talk like almost every other day or whatever. Yeah, it was weird.
What you guys talk about?
No, he was just telling me a little about the show, his life and stuff like that. It was crazy.
So he was just opening up his heart to someone on Instagram that he's never met before.
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, we lost contact. Sometimes I would sit there and hop on his Instagrams or whatever, just sit there and say what's up, and then lost contact or whatever. And then I found out that he passed, and I was like, it was
Damn.
just a shock. So
Damn. That's sad. I know like we
yeah.
also had like the soap death of Billy Miller, which God, that was crazy. It's like I said, like I came to realize that soap stars do not have it as great as we think they do. I mean, like I said, the actress who plays Heather Weinar, she was on a show years ago telling people how, like, after she got her daytime Emmy, she had to go back to waiting tables. She wasn't making as much money as people thought that she was. Like Chandler Massey pays Will, he's an engineer in real life. So he went back to doing that, when Days was, and it makes sense because I think because we think they're on TV that they must have all this money, but unless they're like a Victor Kiriakis or a Sonny Corinthos or a Victor Newman kind of character, they're not bringing in those bucks.
Yeah. And that's the thing. The perception that people have for these people is just insane. They think, like you said, they make a lot of money. They when they have things that's going on in their life in their personal lives, they don't show them a lot of sympathy because it's just like, oh, you're rich, you're a celebrity, you're really popular and stuff like that. And I feel like there's certain people that will sit there and kind of hate on that fact, like, oh, you're this, you're pristine and stuff like that. It's like they don't get that. A lot of times they're mostly like us, you know. They're human. They go through their ups, their downs. They have their struggles like everyone else. They deal with depression, um, bipolar, and everything else. And I think that most people don't either understand it or they choose not to understand that.
Right, right, right. Because I think I said, I think people think they make all this money. I mean, especially like most films and stuff. Sometimes they're independently produced. There's no money. I've done an independent film before. There was no money coming from that. I just did it for the love of it. But it's like there was no money. Well, I think they made money because it's on Amazon Prime, so I think they got some money out of it. I ain't getting none out of it, but they got some. Out of it.
Hold on. Let's just. I'm sorry. Can we back that up for a second?
What?
Because
What
you
happened?
just you just what happened? You just dropped the goddamn jewel. Did you just sit there and say that you made an independent movie?
No, I was on an independent movie. I
You were
played like
on
a
an
tax
independent.
collector. It was nothing big. I played like a tax collector in the movie. So nothing huge. But I played a part of that movie and it was cool to do that. And it was an independent film. And they have it on Prime, Amazon Prime Video. Like I said, I'm pretty sure he's making some money from it, but I didn't at the time. It was just for the love of it. He was an independent movie with small budget. I get how those things go.
But you were in. Okay, you were in. Okay, did you ever sit there and say it's any time in your YouTube channel that you were in an independent movie?
No, oh my gosh, it's the first time. I forgot about it though. It was so many years ago.
I don't understand how you. Okay, all right. Let's just forget about the fact that you forgot about something like that. So DC just actually gave me an exclusive because you never actually sat there on your channel, and I wouldn't know because I watch your videos.
Damn, that's true. I've never talked about it. That's so crazy. I guess I forgot about it to be honest. Like I never, and I guess maybe because the role was so small in there, I just a tax collector, had on a little button-up shirt, and I just had a quick 2-minute conversation on there, and then that was it of my scene.
What's the movie called? Though?
It's called Abused.
It's called Abuse.
Abused.
Abuse. Okay.
Abused. So it's a girl on the cover, and it's like a shattered blue glass thing. Like that's, yeah. I'll send you the link at some point when I remember to. I get off of here. I'll send you the link. So,
Okay.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
I
No.
forgot all
Definitely.
about it. I forgot about it. It was such a small thing. I'm sure now they're making money from it. I think the director is extremely talented. Because I know even if you're doing that on an independent scale, no matter how the budget is, those things are not very easy to do. Just producing that, so it's
Oh, shit.
going to be challenging.
You know,
There you go, Sean Brady with them drinks.
I love it. But no, it made me. It reminded me of something now.
What's that?
So years ago, technically speaking, okay, I'm only just saying this now because you now I kind of feel like an idiot because now I'm kind of okay. Me and my ex girlfriend years ago, we were kind of in an independent movie. We were like extras or whatever. It was like a skating scene, an ice skating scene. I totally forgot about that because her sister, her ex husband or whatever, made movies or whatever, and they asked us to be an extra in it.
Okay,
But yeah, it wasn't even like a big roast. Like you actually see us just like skating in the background.
what's the name of the
But
movie?
I don't remember. I have to sit there and
Damn.
I got yeah. I don't even remember it, but I do remember being accredited in it though, and like my face is actually in it though. So yeah.
Come on, I already got to know the name of the movie. Come on now.
I'm not gonna lie, I actually totally forgot about that, and I was going to give you such a hard time too.
I know,
Wow.
right? Hey, you are do the same thing. Hot on kettle black. Oh my goodness. That's like Sean Brady giving AJ Quarterman a hard time for his drinking. Damn, I didn't know you did that. It's kind of cool though. How did that feel?
Yeah, I honestly tell you the truth, I guess it was fun. I don't even really remember it. It was just like because me and my girlfriend we were already like dating or whatever, and it was just like a date night for us. But she was like, oh, my sister's husband or whatever wants us to be like an extra in this part. I was like, all right, cool, skating or whatever, and it was free skating, so I was like, all right, I'll come through, you
So
know.
was her sister's husband like the director or something? Because maybe you search his name
Yeah,
on the movie. If you remember his name, you
yeah.
don't remember his name, do you?
I would
No.
have to think about it, and then I would sit. I would have to sit there and think about it. Then I would sit there and message you.
I guess we can
But
see why things didn't work out. Huh? No, you
one
don't
of
remember
the many reasons. One of the many reasons. But yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Wow.
I mean, I just remember the fun part is just like ice skating because like that's always fun to do.
Right, right, right. Because I think, like I said, it's kind of cool. Like even I think it was I was talking to someone last week. I remembered how I auditioned for the Real World years ago. I didn't make the cut, by the way, but my roommate
Because
did.
you're too normal though.
I was too normal. I remember at the time, the lady was just like, we were all in a group, and the producers were there, and they were in different groups, and everyone just started like. The thirst was real. I felt like everyone was like, "Yeah, I had a threesome, with my best friend, girlfriend, whatever, back in college," and they didn't know. And it's like people just like just do the most. I feel like just to try to get the show. And me on the other hand, I'm like, yeah, I'm in school, like, and the producer's like, I was like, and I have a boyfriend. The producer's like, you got a boyfriend? Okay, so you're gay? Okay, we got something here. Like, they didn't say we got something here, but I could tell that's what they were thinking when I said
That's so bad, but
I had to have some kind of spices of zest because
yeah,
the whole point of it is like they have to find something that's going to conflict with that, right? They have to find something like that. So my roommate, he didn't audition that season. He went on the Georgia season though. Well, he almost became my roommate in college. We ended up not rooming together, but he ended up on the Georgia season of the World Atlanta, and he was on that was a pro black guy and everything, and fraternity president, and he ended up on there, and that was interesting seeing him years later on that show. But I knew he was going to bring the conflict. They casted him for that reason. He was pro black, and what they're going to do, bring in someone who was like very conservative, a white person. They know what to do. They got to find someone to clash with. But I figured I could be on there because every show needs like a voice of reason. Well, at least back then they didn't have a lot of those. Now I think some reality shows usually they need to have that. But I'm kind of glad I didn't make the cut. I don't know what my life would have been like had I been on there, to be honest.
really.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad to make the cut because there's a whole type of stuff that comes with being on TV and being out there. And can you imagine seeing the challenge and all those challenges they do after the Real World? Can you imagine I was on one of those shows?
Is it okay? Is it more just like being in that public spotlight or whatever,
Yeah,
the
that's part
pressures
of
and
it.
stuff?
Yeah, that's part of it because I feel like sometimes some people get into that and they don't know how to get out of that identity. Like they don't know how to move forward. Like they don't know how to say, "Hey, like I've done reality TV for a little while, or I've done this for a little while. Now let me move on." It's like they're stuck in that frame of mind. And I didn't want to be a reality TV star going from show to show. And I mean, not that that would have
Trying to
happened.
stay
Maybe I would just was that?
trying to stay relevant.
Yeah, yeah. Essentially, try to stay relevant. They go on show to show, and they'll come up with these fake relationships to go on this show and that show and pretend they're getting couples therapy and all this stuff. And we know that's not even the real partner. They just saw a check and like, let's come on the show. Come on, let's make it happen. The lights are due. The lights are about to get cut off this weekend. so I I mean it could have went well, but I don't know if I would have had the emotional capacity to handle what that would have came with. I think now I would I don't know for sure I'd do a reality show, but I'd be open. Well, not open to it, but like, I think I know how to better handle myself if I was on one. I would know that
Okay.
you have to go in there. What are you trying to do? What's your brand? Like, even with YouTube, I had to come in like, okay, what am I trying to do with this channel? Like, yes, I'm trying to do reviews. Like, even with you, like, see, you have a perfectly crafted way you've done this channel. And I've told you this thousands of times. Like, it's just done so seamlessly. You have your lives every day of the week, then you have your members live, right? Like you don't have to sell merch or do any of this type of stuff that most YouTubers have to do because you've kept the format so simple, but it's still intentional at the same time. And it's not many people that can do that. Like this seems so simple, but you'd be surprised when people miss these steps.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I guess I've been doing it so long, I just haven't even really noticed that. Like I don't want to say this as like grieving, but it's like it's just something that I do and it's fun. So I don't
Right.
really think about it, you know?
Right. Because you've kind of created a brand. And I'm not just saying all this because we're friends. If I didn't feel this way, I would just stay quiet. But I really do feel like I really do feel like you've honestly done this pretty well. Like, I mean, just the way you've done it, just the way you connected with people doing the lives, it's another way to connect. And it's something you love to do, so that shows too as well. So like I said, it's not every day that people can manage to kind of have that balance with that.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's sometimes I always sit there and like every now and then I wake up and I'm just like, I'm doing this, I'm getting paid, but it's just fun to do, you know? It's fun to do, and it's one of those things where it's like after I get out of work, it's like this is what I want to sit there and do.
Right.
Yeah. I
Right.
mean,
Right.
granted, there's times where things kind of go left, and let's sit there and say the live stream sometimes, which is not always fun,
Right.
but it's just it comes with the territory, you
Right,
know.
right, right. Yeah, live stream has sometimes it's stuff. It turns into an episode of Passions from time to time. Sometimes it'll be Young the Restless. Most days it's Passions. But I think you've created a fun with the live where a lot of your subscribers seem like they feel very connected to you. Sometimes some a little too connected, as so
just a tiny bit.
yeah, sometimes too connected, you know what I'm saying? But I think you've managed to do that, and people love that. And I think that's why some people go hard in the chat sometimes, like, "Hey, Albert, you didn't read my comment," and they're like, "Wait a minute here, don't tell me what to do." But I think really what they're saying is that, like, "Hey, like Albert, I love your channel. Like, do you see me over here? I'm one of your biggest subscribers, one of your biggest fans. Not fans, but your subscribers. See me out here." So I just want to be noticed because they really love this platform, and I think you do have a way of making people feel noticed. Sometimes I do think people sometimes be taking that for to the extreme, to size for granted, and pushing the limit. So,
just a tad bit,
a
yes.
tad bit, you know what I'm saying? But I think for the most part, you do try to make everyone feel as seen as heard on here. Like I said, so that's not an easy. It's not an easy thing to do. It's not easy. So I commend you for that.
Thank you, thank you. No, I appreciate that, and it's one of those things where it's like, I also don't sit there and take myself too seriously, you know. When I'm doing this, it's just fun or whatever. And like even yesterday, well, or the day before, whatever, when people were sitting there acting up, and it was a bit of drama on Saturday. You know what I'm talking about? I think you were there for that. You
Yeah, I
might have.
was there.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
there.
yeah,
I was there. I
yeah.
was
Yeah.
there. I was there.
Hmm. But even stuff like that, it's like it doesn't stop me from like it doesn't sit there and discourage me. Like, oh, I don't know if I feel like doing this the next day. It's just like, okay, what could I sit there and try to do to make it where it doesn't happen, or to try to make it better? Because
Right,
like
right,
even when that happened, it was like I sat there and I was like, either I can sit there and continue to let this be extremely. Thank you, Spike Craig. I can continue to sit there and let this be super awkward, or I can sit there and just have fun and find a way to sit there and move on. You know,
right, right.
and I think that will sit there and determine how your stream goes and just how much fun you're gonna have. Because it's like what Brock says, if you're not having fun doing this, what's the point,
I
right?
agree. I
So
agree. I agree. This is why sometimes like finding a way to stay connected to my channel and doing sexual reflections or just the reviews here and there. I love it because, like I said, I'm always gonna love talking to soaps. Like, because this is the thing. It might seem like we're in this chat that everybody in the world watches soaps. It's just a small little bubble we're in, guys. Like, I here to burst your bubble. Like, I have never like. I joke around with the guy I'm dating. I joke around him all the time, and I was like, you don't watch soaps, do you? He's like, no, not really. I was like, I've accepted that. I'm never gonna find someone to watch soaps. I just accepted that. It's never going to happen. Because it's really a small bubble people watch soaps. I mean, there's a reason why they're dying. I mean, come on, there's why we got four left. Like, ain't nobody really watching as we think they are. So this small bubble people do it. I love doing it because it's such a break from my everyday life, which I'm trying to even do just a couple of videos here and there because I kind of I miss going into it, just the creative chops of it all. So, but it's like I said, I love coming on. I love coming onto the channel. Like I said, even when I started off during the pandemic, doing Soap Sanctuary, It's been fun. I mean, like, and it's never felt tiring because, like I said, soaps are the content, so I don't have to find the content to talk about. That's the great part. And the thing is, it sucks because right now the soaps are at their best. It's always at their best. I can't do reviews. It's always what happens. It's always like that. It's always when I can't watch soaps. That's when soaps have the best things going on the screen and all these twists and turns that happen. But when I'm watching faithfully, none of this crap's happening.
Because they're sitting there looking at DC and be like, you know what? DC's not sitting there watching. He's not doing the reviews.
Let's bring our
So let's sit
best.
there and show our end game. Let's sit there and bring our end game while he's not here. Just to F with DC. Just
Exactly. Exactly. I was
goddamn conspiracy theory.
so both DC and Albert did movies we know nothing about, right? We got y'all got movie stars on here, guys. We're both movie stars.
You know, I'm not gonna. It's, oh, seriously, I'm not gonna lie. I actually didn't think about it until you said something. To be
See,
fair,
you
your
were getting
role,
on me. You were getting on me.
no, but to be fair, your role was a lot better than mine. Mine was an ice skating scene.
Albert was probably in the whole series on Peacock, guys, and just forgot all about it. That's where he was at. But the soaps have been so good this week. I mean, I was watching Y&R earlier today. I was like, damn, this is good writing with Y&R. I was like, how is this show so good? Where have I been? Like, what's going on? It was so good. I was like, this is good writing here. Even GH has been good too, and it hasn't been good in a minute, you know? So I was impressed. In Days too. Once again, still haven't seen much of B&B. Still haven't seen much. B&B is like my last resort of all the soaps. I don't know what it is. It's like the middle child of my soaps. It's the middle child. Like the oldest one, you pay a little more attention to. The youngest one, a little bit too. But the middle child's all right. I'll catch you when I got you. I'll catch you when I catch you. I got you though. I got you next week, 2 weeks from now. So I wanted to ask you, what did you think of? I know you probably already spoke about it in your views and everything, but what did you think about the scene with Sarah and Xander, and what that happened on Days?
See, I, for me personally, I understood where Sarah was coming from because Xander's the type of person that will sit there and go back to type when other things get desperate. He gets desperate or whatever. So I understood why Sarah was sitting there acting the way she was acting. Um, I completely understand. For the most part, I was generally on her side. The only thing that pisses me off, and I'm gonna sit there and say this since you're here. Well, I said this before, but I'll say this again. I hate when someone will sit there and say "my child." That is something that just aggressively pisses me off. Um, but other than that, I was pretty much on Sarah's side because she wasn't wrong about the stuff she was saying. And I don't think she was asking for much of Xana, not to kidnap people, not to kill people, things of that nature. Just little bare minimums where it's like he couldn't sit there and reach, you know?
I felt the same. I felt like she was totally in the right because in my mind, I'm like, it's not like she wanted you out of the baby's life because you broke her heart or you forgot her anniversary. You kind of kidnapped somebody, contribute to another woman's death. That's kind of some big stuff there, buddy. It's some big stuff. And it's like so he came in with all this attitude. I'm like, what's all this attitude going on? Like, what's all this attitude? Like, as if you were just the saint in the world and she just kept her child from you. It was bad because Rex has been in this boat before, having his child kept from him. So it was like, damn, for real. Like you would do that to Rex. I get it, but granted, he's still the better match than the Xander. He is a better match, but it's like, damn, like when Xander was getting all angry about it, I'm like, what are you getting angry for? Like you did kidnap a woman. Like that's not can't overlook that. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Sarah had a good point. She like even when Maggie was like, "Are you gonna tell Xander he deserves to know?" And I'm like, Maggie, what kind of a mother are you? Like, like it's not like she.
Definitely,
Go ahead.
definitely out of pocket. No, definitely, she was definitely out of pocket.
Because when Maggie did that, I was like, damn, like I see why Sarah couldn't tell her mom because it's like it's not like he forgot to bring donuts by one day and that's why she's keeping out her daughter's life. You try to kidnap somebody, someone who lives in your house, Maggie. Like it's like, come on, like So that was mind boggling to me on Days. And then another thing that happened on Days is obviously the whole Alex and Victor thing. Um, what are your thoughts on that before I say anything?
I mean, my whole thing is like I sat there because here's the thing: I don't know the history with Justin and Victor as far as that woman, or whatever. So like, I can't sit there and speak on that part. But Um, people have sat there and said that because apparently Xander's name is also Alex, which I
Yes.
didn't know. So I think it could probably been like maybe Teresa could did something where it's like, oh, because she doesn't like Xander, so she could have been like, oh, it's Alex and not Xander. So I
Yeah.
feel like it might be something like that.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
about you?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, because honestly, it makes no sense with it being Alex as in Justin's son. Because the thing is, Alex hasn't been around long enough for us as viewers to really connect with him. And we haven't seen too many interactions between him and Victor either. So, and it's not as climactic with him being Victor's son. It would be better with Xander because he treated Xander like crap. So it would have made more sense for it to been Xander because Xander has been on the show since 2016, right?
2015.
2015. 20, oh, okay. You schooled me. He just
Only,
schooled me,
only no,
folks.
only not because I saw an interview and he said that he started at 2015. So
Damn, I totally forgot. So it's been a minute. Okay, since 2015. So Alex Justin's son has not been on that long, and it just I felt such a disconnect as a viewer watching that because like, there's no way it could be that Alex because um, it just doesn't connect. And the thing is, we don't know much about Xander's family. We just know that his dad is one of Victor's brothers or he's Victor's uncle. And I feel like Victor's got like 10,000 brothers at this point because I can't keep track of all these Kyriakis descendants that come on the show. You know what I mean? But for me, that scene with Alex and Justin, I felt that scene when Justin's like, "You're still my son. I still care about you. You mean the world to me." And I'm like, "Does no one gonna do a DNA test first before we jump to all these conclusions? Like, no one's gonna no one's gonna do a DNA test first. We're just gonna accept this and eat it up as gospel, right?"
and Zach and see that, and again, that's the problem with the whole Spencer and Ace thing. It's like we're just gonna sit there and take his word, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna sit there and knock Booster that's made whatever. So it clearly can't be my child. It's like it's totally possible, simple for the simple fact that he didn't even do a DNA test. So yeah, it's the same thing with Alex and Justin. Almost just that they're looking at it, it's like maybe I'm looking at this from like more of a not understanding too well or not. But I'm just like, okay, so that's not your bio dad. It doesn't change anything though. Like he still raised you. He still was not there to sit there and put band-aids on your knees or whatever, or things of that nature, tuck you in and stuff like that. Like that doesn't go away. So I guess for me, I'm just like maybe I'm looking at this in a weird way, but he's being super dramatic. Like it changes everything. It's like it really doesn't though.
It
Like
but the thing is, it kind of does because it does and it doesn't because the thing is he's still processing it. It's fresh information because one now he's figuring out his whole life is a lie. He's based his whole identity like we base our identities on who our parents are, even though we're not even the, whether or not we're trying to be like them, but we base our identities off of them. So he's based his identity off of being Justin Kiriakis' son. He even said that he knew that he was the type of guy who wasn't maybe the best type of guy, but he figured since Justin was his dad, there was a glimmer of a good part in him. So if Justin's not his dad anymore, then what does he do with that? And then also now he's having to unpack the fact that his actual father didn't even want him. And his actual father has been around him and been raised. Because think about it, like your dad is not your dad is your cousin. That's like a mind F right there.
yeah,
You know what I
I can
mean?
I guess I can see that, but okay, all right.
And now you got to like your world's flipped upside down. Inside is like, what is the truth here? That can really mess someone up.
I guess yeah, I can see that. I guess for me personally, I've never actually sat there and looked at my parents and been like, I'm like this because of my mom, or I'm like that because of my dad. I've never actually sat there and had my identity. I never looked at my identity or my parts or whatever, or how I act based off my parents. I was just looked at it just based off of life. So I guess that was the part that I couldn't sit there and connect with.
Right. Because
I think
like
that
what if
that was the disconnect part for me.
what if your parents came to you one day and said you're adopted?
I
Okay.
mean, it
All
would have
right.
been like,
Not okay. Imagine you're not you. Imagine you're someone else, not Albert Bostic. How would you react?
no, 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 no. I get it. It's definitely a shock. But I guess, like I said, when he was saying like, I knew I was always this, I knew I was always that because you were my dad. I never sat there and looked at myself and been like, there's times I could be somewhat lazy and I gotta sit there and attribute that to my dad. It's like, no, we're just lazy because of life. That was it. So, I guess that's me. It was a disconnect, but I can see what you're talking about. Like,
Right.
as far as him tying his identity and some of the things that he's done or the way he's acted, or just like, you know what? I know sometimes I can be kind of an a-hole, but I like to sit there and think I'm a good person because you're my dad. So I can
Right.
I can see I can see that.
And I think that it would have been better if Sonny was there for that, because Sonny and Alex actually had the more interaction than him and Justin did, to be honest, from what I've seen. Well, at least this actor was playing Alex, so it's just like I would have liked Sonny to have been there for that.
Yeah.
That was missing for me because like I said, he hasn't had many scenes with Justin, to be honest, and he hasn't had many scenes with Victor. That's how I know he can't be Victor's son. They have had enough scenes for this to have the impact that we want to have, but we would have the impact if it was Xander. We would have that impact with him because Xander has been treated like utter shit. And now look what Xander's at right now. So Xander right now has practically almost nothing to his name. He has a spectator, but not really doing that well. So imagine now when he finds out he's about to be inheriting Titan Industries. That's gonna be a
Now,
game changer for everybody.
now let's sit there and ask you another question because
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit there and put this in my title sometime this week. But with so many actors leaving, you got so many actors leaving. You ever sit there and wonder if Days of Our Lives is in trouble? We have Martha that's leaving. We have Philip that's going to be leaving. We have Chloe that's leaving. What else have we got that's leaving?
I knew Chloe was leaving the moment Philip showed up at the door, and then he was like, "Chloe, I want you," and then she's like, "You know what? Yeah, let's work it out." I was like, "That was quick." I was like, "Oh, she's leaving the show. She's leaving the show."
No, seriously. I think we have over 5 people that's they're leaving the show.
Mhm.
I can't sit there and think of any more, but we have like about 5 people that's leaving the show, and this makes you wonder: do you honestly think that Days of Our Lives is in trouble?
No, because I think it's pretty common on soaps for characters to be leaving all the time. Some
Would to
people
have that many in under a year?
5 people leave.
Yeah.
I don't think that's as high as a number because, like I said, there's certain stories they got to tell. It could also be like, okay, maybe there's not much more of a story for them to tell around Belle and Sean, or even with Philip. Because I knew when John Paul came up back as Philip, I was like, he's not gonna be around for long. Because when he's not the original Philip, so I don't feel like it's in trouble. If it was like eight or more, then I'd feel a little nervous. But I wouldn't feel. I mean, is that what you're feeling? You feel kind of like they might be in trouble because of that?
I just I just think because, like I said, you just have so many people that's leaving. It's alarming at best. I mean, granted, I understand why Martha's leaving, but then we have Martha, um, you have Philip, you have Chloe, and even the way Chloe and Xander broke up was just the hell. Even the way that Chloe and Xander broke up, it was just like they're only breaking up because she's leaving. I feel
Right.
like they're only partly breaking up because they're leaving. You just have that many people that's leaving. It's just alarming at the very least. And maybe it has something to do with that Mr. Alar guy. Because you
Right.
guys have to remember how far these things are taped in advance.
Right. Right.
It
Right.
could it
Right.
could
Right.
have something to do with him
Right.
and just the
Right.
vibe that he was bringing to the show.
Right. Right. That's a possibility. I'm not that worried about it because I feel like I said I know sometimes they can only tell stories for so long, and those actors, especially actors like Gabby, Philip, Sonny, Belle, they've come and gone so many times through the years. Like they've come back, they come here, they come back, they come
Yeah, I
here.
forgot about I forgot about Gabby. That's also leaving.
Gabby's leaving as well, which I think this will probably go into her whole thing of trying to bring down what's his face, Dimitri. So that would play into how Gabby's gonna leave the show. But I'm not that concerned because like I said, I feel like it's typical soap. Because sometimes there's only so much stories you can tell. Like Kristen Alfonso has always said time and time again, "I'm leaving Days. This is the final time." She's been saying this since the 1980s. So like honestly, when she said it in 2020, I thought she was for real at that time. When she said it in 2020, it's like, yeah, I'm never. I think this is good. I'm gone. And then she came back again. for Beyond Salem, and then she came back for this whole thing. I'm like, yeah, like they always say that and
Yeah,
then they come right back. They always, because you know,
yeah, exactly.
that gets together, they come right back.
Like, hey, I want to think on this new trip. I want to think start this new project. So, you guys gonna have me back now? Like, what's good?
Exactly. They always say that, and then they come right back on the show. So I'm not too worried about it. Like I said, I thought that I knew when Philip went to go see Chloe, it was a little too quick because all of a sudden Chloe was like, "Yeah, I think we can work things out, Philip. Yeah, I maybe we could." I'm like, "That quick? In less than 24 hours? Like,
And
does you really
it
love
wasn't even
Xander?"
just it's like, and it wasn't even just that. It was the fact that Philip came over there and he wasn't upset. Because think
Right.
about it, she came there and she blurted out information that really wasn't her business, and also, really kind of messed up Rex and his whole thing that he has going on with Sarah. So you would think that he would be a little kind of upset, like, bro, like this wasn't really your place to sit there and just kind of start telling secrets and stuff.
But you gotta look at it this way. Now that Xander knows the truth, he knows that Chloe's back in his orbit again. That's why he wasn't mad. He got the girl at the end of the day. I mean, in
Yeah.
his now he's probably like, well, Rex sucks for you, but I'm coming out on top. You rushed over
Yeah,
there.
I
Like, I
guess so.
understand
I
what you're
guess
doing.
so.
I wanted to see how you were doing, Chloe. Like he rushed over there with a quickness because now he knows he's back on top. But the thing is that I thought it was weird that Chloe's getting ready to go get married, and then when Xander and Sarah's having the conversation, Xander said, "Yeah, I'm gonna meet Chloe's son for the first time." I'm like, "You're about to marry this woman and you've never met her son before?"
Yeah, it's. I mean, granted, it's definitely out of pocket. You're
Not
right.
even a phone call.
To be fair, but to be fair, they haven't even been dating that long, and he's just they're talking about marriage. So you
Right.
got that going on as well.
And what made it weird is that Chloe's son is Sarah's nephew. So you mean tell me even in all that time, Xander still never met Parker? Because obviously Parker is the son of Daniel Jonas, who is Maggie's son, who is Sarah's brother, and still, even as when Xander was Sarah's husband or dating her all those years, he never met her nephew. Like see, that was another opportunity. He could have met Parker. Me telling me all the time he's never met Parker, and then now even dating Chloe still hasn't met Parker, and that was just weird. Like you're gonna marry someone they never met your kids. Some people do that, but I find that weird.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, granted, the whole relationship seemed kind of rushed, especially when you was talking about marriage.
Yeah,
Like that was the part that was just like rushed, and everything else is just like kind of downhill. And granted, she's going along with that. She's just talking about they love each other. I'm just like, yeah, okay, all right, sure.
yeah, yeah. And then it takes me to Wynar because I was watching the other day, and I'm so team Jack Abbott, but Jack lately has just the way
What's,
that
wrong- what's wrong? What's wrong with Jack Abbott?
I'm so usually team Jack Abbott, but the way he's been treating Billy, it's like this is exactly what Ashley was talking about. Ashley was like, just wait, they're gonna ice you out, and you're gonna be. And this is what I was saying is like, Jabot belongs to Kyle Harrison. Ashley and Billy just need to step aside. See, Tracy already knew to step aside. She's not getting a piece of this pie. She's just not. Just sit pretty and just stay in the mansion. You're not getting a piece of that vibe, Jabot. But the way Billy's been being treated, it's just like it disgusts me the way everyone treats Billy on this show. Like even Adam being all sanctimonious, like, yeah, Billy, you're another one of your screw ups. And I'm like, he screwed up because you ran over his daughter. That was part of his grief and contributed to his gambling. So let's, I'm like, Adam, you might want to ease up there. You ran over his daughter. That's kind of part of why he's a screw up.
Hmm.
And it's like no one gives Billy a break. And seeing Jack like he can treat Billy like that, it was just. And then all of a sudden, when Billy said, "I have ammunition on Tucker," and then all of a sudden, when Jack was like, "Well, this could help Jabot." All of a sudden, Jack changed his tune. All of a sudden, I'm like, "Wow, Jack is shady as hell. You were about to fire this man." And
I
then all of a
know.
sudden,
Yeah, at that point, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. At
put the
that
people in
point,
the
I was like,
family.
that was out of pocket. Like when he was sitting there saying that, because even Billy was like, I don't know if I should sit there and tell you because I kind of like my job and maybe I should kind of keep it to myself.
I
So
was
I do get that though.
that like when Jack did that, his colors just shone. He was just like, if you have information on Tucker, Billy, you should let us know for the sake of the family and Jabot. And then I was like, wow, all of a sudden, like,
But then, yes, no, that's true. It was very shady. But then I also sat and I looked at it and I was like, Diane's not there whispering in his ear, talking about, well, if Billy's gone, then we could sit there and get Kyle back. And it's like he sat there, he looked there, it's like, you kind of have a point. And then when he said that, I was like, okay, I can understand why some people do not like who do not trust Diane. That's when it hit me because that's when it was like because I was defending Diane for the longest,
same,
and then when that happened, I was like,
same.
yeah, y'all kind of got a point.
Saying because when Diane was like, "Well, Kyle's having issue with Billy. Maybe we should get him out so Kyle can return to the company." And Jack was like, "You might have a point, Diane." And I was just like, just because Kyle was not feeling Billy, you're gonna boost it. You're gonna burst him out of the company just for that. And and Jack's been showing his ass because he even removed Kyle from Jabot because he wanted to keep Summer on. And I'm like, they're marital issues that have nothing to do with how they are in the business. But he made a personal issue his thing to determine who has what role. And this is stuff usually that Victor does. That's why I feel like anybody who works with Victor is just an idiot. Because in the day, he's going to go against you, he's going to micromanage you, and he's going to control you. So for Sharon even trying to get control of her company back, I applaud her for that. Because she realizes that was a dumbass move to oh sorry, we're gonna lie, sorry. That was a dumb move. That was a dumb move to do that. Because it's like the moment you do that, like Victor changes his mind like the weather. Victor be like, all right, I decided that you're in charge of Novin Media, all right, and I don't think it's a good role for you. And I decided that I'm going to put Nick in charge, okay? Very well. And then Victor would change his mind like that. And Jack has started doing the same. See, now I'm starting to see who Jack really is. I think I'm starting to really see who Jack really is now. He's been showing it. I'm starting to see who he really is now at this point. I'm really starting to see it.
Just on a side note, I do hope that Eric Braden is actually watching these live streams, just to sit there and see your take on this character. That's why I'm generally hoping. Not even from me at this point. Just for him to sit there and see. Wonder who that DC character is. Who's that guy?
DC about your channel, I think it's very good. But yeah, I think your impressions of me are not very well. Okay, they need to work on it. Okay, very well then. So it's just like
Share this video, everyone. Share this video.
because I feel like looking at it too, when I was watching it, I felt bad for Phyllis when Tucker was just like, if you want the other million, this is what you got to do. It's like almost like Tucker was like, yeah, you want this money, dance for it. Like, so I was like, Phyllis. I felt bad for Phyllis. What are you gonna say? Go ahead.
Seriously? No, because I sat there and I was like, this. I've lost count of how many times. See,
Yeah, I saw that. I saw yeah.
no, but like I've lost count of how many times that she has been under a man's thumb because of her stupid actions. So
Yeah.
like I'm looking at this and I'm like, you know, um, Daniel gave you a job, right? And granted, it wasn't going to get you the money as fast, but he gave you a job, and you also are repairing your relationship. What did you decide to do? Oh, I'm going to sit there and take the easy way out and just work for Tucker. That's why for me, I was like, I don't feel bad for you because I'm like, you made your bed. And she's all like, oh, I don't want to do that to Billy because Billy is like my only friend now, whatever. And
I
Tucker's
was
like,
more than
well,
friends.
okay, well, I'm just saying, like, like, oh, that's my friend or whatever. And Tucker's like, well, you got yourself into this. Like, like you made the deal with me. Yes, you made the deal with the devil, bass or whatever, but you made it. You made another stupid choice, and this is where you are. I can't feel bad for that, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, you always get what you want in life. Like if you make a deal with the devil, you always get what you want as quick as possible, but it comes with strings attached. And Phyllis has not learned from Jeremy Stark's situation that like you got to be careful the type of man you're making these strings attached with. Like, okay, Nick, for example, when he gave her the money for the Grand Phoenix, there was no strings attached to that because Nick is a good guy. He didn't attach no strings to that deal, and she sold it like an idiot, and here she is, and now she has to pay back all this insurance money that Jeremy Stark took, and like just even the sequence of events. You faked your death to get Diane down for what? What did Diane do at that point in time? Nothing. This was just pure insecurity. That's how far the insecurity went. And then you faked your death. Yeah, your children mourn for you. You put your children also in legal jeopardy. And then, but I felt for her a little bit because I'm like, damn, she wants to do the right thing right now. She's still being stupid as hell. But then when Tucker was just like, that's part of our deal. He was like, if you want the other half of the million, that's what you've got to do. And you're going to not transfer, you're going to do a transfer. I didn't tell you all of our terms. And it's like, Phil's like, I should have known. Well, you didn't tell me what was up. But I'm like, sis, like, from one schemer to another, you didn't know what time it was. you know, you didn't know what time it was. And it was just like, damn, now she's in another situation again. And this has been go ahead.
No. You were going to say this. This has been happening since.
This has been happening since she slept with Nick all those years ago, and she had an affair, and that's how she conceived Summer. It's like she does not learn. She keeps going from situation. First, it was cheating on Jack with Nick, then having their affair behind Sharon's back, and then conceiving Summer. Then it was Drusilla getting thrown off the cliff because of Phyllis. It's like one thing after another with Phyllis. It just doesn't end. And I think that's why Phyllis with Daniel, when he was talking to Summer, he was like immune because Summer is just now being prone to Phyllis's shenanigans. Daniel has had his whole life since he was a baby dealing with this crap. So for him, he's like immune to it. That's why when they were at that restaurant, he was just eating his food. And Summer's like, what are we going to do about Mom? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, I don't know what you're going to do, but I know what I'm going to do. Because Daniel was like, I'm immune to this crap. Like, this is just like every day. But he gave her a job to help her. And now look what she's done. But I feel bad for her because it's like she's trying to fix the situation she's in with the mentality with the same type of thinking that got her into it. That's the problem now. That's the problem.
No, that's okay. And that makes a very interesting point because I look at Phyllis and I look at the fact that she just keeps making pretty much essentially the same mistakes, just with different people.
Yeah.
Right. But then I also sit there and I look at Carly, right? Mm-hmm. And looking at Phyllis and being like, she's this dingbat or whatever. She does these very rash, these very fast, like rash things or whatever. I think in a lot of ways that's what makes her character so great. Because like I look at Carly and it's like, yeah, there's sometimes that people don't like Carly, and I feel like they don't like Carly because they like Nina or whatever. But like Carly, I don't want to sit there and say that she's boring, but like when she first started, she would sit there and make those same rash decisions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like now, it's not really that much to her. Like I feel like Carly is a much more boring character than let's say Phyllis. Right now, even to some extent, Nina. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I like Nina, but like she's flawed. She does these really stupid things. She's not a terrible, god awful person, but she does these really rash things, and then she's spends most of her time sitting there worrying about it. But that's what makes her a very interesting character,
right?
As opposed to Carly, which is like, she's not who she's not like how she was when she first started. Like she's not. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole SEC thing or whatever. Yeah, that was stupid. But I've seen Carly do worser things.
That's true.
And so, like, even by comparison, it's very tame.
Yeah.
As opposed to Phyllis that just keeps making mistake after mistake. Nina that just keeps doing more stupid things after stupid things.
Yeah.
But they're more fun and they're more fun and interesting characters to watch.
Right, because of that. Right. Because I think what Carly is, the thing is, Nina is still fairly new to us as GH viewers. We got to remember that Carly's been on since 1994, 95, her character. So we've had 20 some years of Carly's character where we maybe only had maybe close to 10 years of Nina's character, maybe close to it. Or when she wouldn't even come on, 2017, 2012. So 2012, right? 2012, 2013, that Nina's character came on, right?
I think so. I know she's been on for like at least 10 something years, I think.
Okay, 10 years. Yeah, 10 years now. So, I think at some point they had to transition Carly to another point. And I was thinking about this the other day, and I think I'm going to do a video review about it. But the storyline that never was. which was Carly, Jason, and Sunny in their love triangle. I feel like, and like I said, I feel like that was the next realm of Carly that we were supposed to see. But you know, Steve
Yeah.
Martin had his thing going on, and I'm like, damn, like, because this is the thing with me, us as GH viewers, we waited for that for 20 years. Let's be honest, we were waiting for that for 20 plus years to finally see something like this play out between the three of them, and I feel robbed. I feel so robbed of that moment because, like, when they instantly took Jason away from Brett, I'm like, why? But then I was like, we're getting him and Carly instead of a mob storyline, and they're married, and they're trying to figure out their feelings for each other. This is actually better because this is what we've been waiting for. This inappropriate relationship that she's had with Jason her whole 20 some years, where he's just my best friend, you know. So it's like, you know, and we know that he's the real love of Carly's life, and Carly's the real love of his life. And then when Sonny came back from Nixon Falls to see how that was gonna play out between the three of them, where they're gonna say, no, son, we're taking your business. Like, I wanted to see that. I wanted to see that happen with the three of them. And like I said, I just felt extremely robbed of that. We like there's so many there's so many avenues that could have gone. Like even with Carly being a mob boss, right, and Jason being her enforcer, but also her lover at the same time. That could have been something they could have explored. You know, they chose not to. And when Sonny came back, I would have loved to see how the three of them played out, but unfortunately, Seabird had to leave. So to me, it was like, damn, that was like it was almost like a final piece to that puzzle. And then the way we put that would have played out, we would have gotten into our next era of how the triumphant trio would be moving. Did that make sense?
Yeah. No, no, I get that. And I know a lot of people were kind of pissed off that Jason and Britt didn't happen or whatever. But I can see your point of view as well. Though. People were so pissed off at Carly's character. It was like it was insane. I didn't see people be pissed off at Carly's character in a hot minute, but oof.
You mean, but recently?
No, no, I'm talking about when that happened, when Carly and Jason decided to get together to try to make it work for the business or whatever. People were so pissed off
Why were they pissed though?
because they wanted Jason to be with Brett.
Right. Yeah, and I wanted that too, but it's like it was cool and all, whatever. But
Okay, now Blackmail says Nina came in on 2000.
2014. Okay, so almost 10 years. Almost 10 years then. Almost 10 years. The thing about it is that like Carly and Jason, like I said, when I first started watching GH, I was like, that guy is extremely close to her. Like, I remember I was asking, we had some family friends who loved watching GH, and I said to them, like, is Jason her brother? Because I didn't get the vibe that they were romantically involved, but he was a little bit too involved in her affairs, and the same for her and him. And then they go, no, Jason is Michael's father. They got their facts wrong because it was clearly AJ. So, but in my mind, I'm just like, I was always even when she found that Jake was really Jason's son, Carly acted like Jake was her son. It was held, and that secret was held from her. It had nothing to do with her. She took that personally, and she's always acted like she was Jason's wife. It's like she was Jason's wife in spirit, almost. Like it wasn't legally, but it's like that's who she was, who she embodied. And Jason was there for her kids. He was that ride or die. So it's so cool to see Steve Burton and Tamara Braun on Days because it's like Carly and Jason on Days in a sense, seeing that play out. But I just wish we could have gotten that. Drew, I could care less about Drew. I care less if he's in prison. I care less if he get beaten up. I could less get shot tomorrow. I care less about it all. I could just care less about Drew Kane. I'm over. I don't even care. I just don't.
I feel like I'm one. I feel like I'm one of the very few people that actually likes Drew, that doesn't mind Drew and stuff like that. So I find that very interesting. Now, what I will sit there and say about the whole, because I don't know if you watched, I don't know how far you are with GH or whatever, but there was a scene where Carly was sitting there lashing out at Sonny because she was all like, you didn't protect Jason. I mean, no, you didn't protect Drew. You were supposed to sit there and protect Drew. And I sat there, and at first I went in on Carly because I was like, first of all, Sonny can sit there and protect Michael. He couldn't protect Spencer. What the hell made you think he was going to sit there and protect Drew? Or he could protect Drew, right? Because I was just like,
Yeah.
so he's not God. On top of that, I was like, Carly, you are partly responsible for Drew being in prison in the first place, right? You are partly responsible. So don't sit there and come at Sonny when you had more of a hand in him being in that position in the first place. But then I had to sit there and I had to reevaluate and realize that she was just lashing out. And when you're in a situation where somebody, somebody you love, somebody you care about is in the hospital, you say you do things that you wouldn't normally do.
Yeah.
So I had to sit there and kind of like, yeah, I kind of like spoke out of pocket a little bit because she did apologize to Ava and Nina and stuff like that. And if you ever been in that situation when you're in a hospital, you understand those emotions. You know?
Right, right, right. That's the thing too. Is like with the whole Drew Kane storyline, and well, I don't know. This is because Nina's fault, and the only person who knows what Nina did is Ned, and Ned is not Eddie Main. Which this whole storyline is, yeah. I didn't. We don't even get no flashbacks. It's just it's not playing to the true nostalgia of Eddie Main. Even though I wasn't even around during that time, I was probably a twinkle in my father's eye, as it would say. Eddie Main in '93, but it was just like and I got a feeling they're not gonna reveal this to maybe December or January. I got a feeling because now they're putting Charlotte in the midst of Nina's purview at this point. For me personally, like I said, would Drew personally for me, I like Billy Miller in the role as Drew Kane. I preferred him in that role the best. Even when he played the recast Jason, I preferred him. Rest in peace, Billy Miller. I really preferred him in that role. Cameron Matheson is playing Cameron Matheson. That's how I feel. That's why it's hard for me to look past. Like he's just playing Cameron Matheson, just like how Roger Howard is playing Roger Howard. Like, and I've seen Roger Howard in two, and I've seen him in As World Turns. This is the same character. The only time he played a character different was when he played Todd in the '90s on One Life to Live. So Austin Gallon to me is still Roger Howard. Ryan Paul from As World Turns is also Roger Howard, and Cameron Matheson is playing Cameron Matheson. When he played Ryan in Labor on My Children, and when he's in those Hallmark movies, he is playing Cameron Matheson. I don't see no shred of difference with this character from the rest, and that's why I'm not that much interested. I think in Drew as I like to be. Like when you look at Ashley and Kristen DeMera, played by Eileen Davison, you see a clear difference between the characters.
Yeah.
You feel it. When you look at Leo Stark and then Kevin Fisher on YNR, you see a huge difference between the characters. And granted, they're very polar opposites. That's one part of it. That's one part of it too. But even when you look at Nico on All My Children, and then you look at Sonny Corinthos on GH, I know you've never seen him on All My Children, but I've seen the clips and I see a distinguishment between the characters. Or Cassie Winslow on Guiding Light, and now who is now Carly on GH. There's a difference. Or what is it? What's the name again?
Annie Dutton.
Annie Dutton and Nina. There's a little bit of similarities on too. I'm not gonna lie, a little bit of similarities, but there is a clear difference. There's a clear distinguishment, but I just don't get that with Cameron Matheson, and that's why it's hard for me to connect with Drew. It's hard for me to connect with Drew. Cameron Matheson just has that goody two shoes thing about him, and it's something bad, but it's just there's no layers here for me to feel like I can unravel with him. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it does. Now, what I will sit there and say about Billy Miller as Jason and then as Drew, I here's the thing. I've looked at that and I'm like, I felt like he had so much of a raw deal. Like I felt like he got kind of screwed over so much and blindsided because, as much as I love Steve and as much as I was happy that he was back as Jason, that role was supposed to be Drew's. I mean that role was supposed to be Billy.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine if you signed on and then you find out that another actor wants that role back? So they're like, all right, we'll bump you, just bump you somewhere else or whatever. It's like, all right, cool, you get to keep your job, but it's like you already was one position, and because this guy came back, it's like now you're kind of getting kicked to the curb a little bit. And then you know what happened after that. Then he was, I don't know if he was let go or whatever, but it was like
I
it was just, it
remember.
was something that was just really messed up. And the thing is, for me, at the time, I had a bit of a tunnel vision because I was just so happy that Steve came back as Jason. I was like, oh man, this is so great. I never stopped there and I looked at it from Billy's point of view and being like, that's just messed up.
And he did amazing with that role, and he was even more amazing as I agree with Melanie. He was amazing as Billy Abbott. He was amazing as Billy Abbott. When Billy Miller played Billy Abbott, he was amazing in that role. He's absolutely amazing. Jason Thompson actually, I think, is doing pretty good too. But he was really amazing as that, and I agree because I don't know if you remembered All My Children. Well, you didn't watch All My Children, that's right, and you didn't watch One Life to Live either. That's why I got canceled. But when All My Children was on, when All My Children was on, they had Sabine Singe play Greenlee, and when Sabine Singe left the show, because Rebecca Budig wanted to come back. Rebecca Budig is the actress who plays Hayden on GH, by the way. So Rebecca Budig came back to Rose Greenlee. ABC had these promos. The real Greenlee is back, and it was mad disrespectful. Like people found it mad disrespectful to the actress who just filled in those shoes for a couple of years. And so now the original Greenlee wants to come back. You just shoot it to the side and say the real Greenlee is back. Like so, it's similar to that. It's similar to that because I do think Billy Miller did get a raw deal because I think that he brought a different element to Jason, and we were ready to accept that. And he brought something different to the role. He brought something totally different to the role. I forgot about Steve Burton during that time. I forgot about him, to be honest. And it could have been handled differently. But see, even I remember Billy Miller when he was Richie Novak on My Children. Then when he became, I think it was Billy Abbott, and then obviously then Jason. He brought very different things to all of those roles, and he played them all so differently. But like I said, Cameron Matheson is playing Cameron Matheson. That's all I'm seeing with it, and so that's why I can't get into the Drew character. Cameron Matheson, I think he's a great actor, but it's just in terms of this role with Drew, I just want to see some more vulnerabilities. I just want to see just a little bit more that I'm not seeing with him in this role.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I just don't have the same level of like not caring that other people do for us, Drew. But it's, for me, it's the same thing with Cody. Like when Cody came in, people were just like, "Oh, I can't stand Cody. I don't like Cody." I'm just like, I don't really get it. But
Oh,
okay,
I like
sure,
Cody.
whatever.
I like Cody. Cody,
Yeah,
Cody, I can work with. Cody, I can work with. At this point, I just don't get why he can't just tell Mac that he's his son. You're not getting the fortune. That's kind of done.
yeah,
So, like, why can't you tell Mac he's his son? If anything, Mac can help you at this point. Maybe drop some charges off the list. So, that's the only thing I don't get about the Cody thing. But Cody, I like as a character. I feel there's some development there, but it's a little weird that you will risk it all for someone you just met who just stabbed you. That part I don't get. It's like, do you really have nothing to do but to chase on the girl who randomly stabbed you, and you just, it
yeah.
just
I'm
seems like
not gonna lie.
you
It's a little fast. It's a little out of pocket. I'm not even gonna sit there and lie. Um, but before you go, I want to sit there and just quickly talk about because what is your take on as far as how people have been handling Billy Millie's tribute and stuff like that? Like, just what's your whole take on it? And just him as a character, actor, whatever. Like, what's your whole take on it?
I haven't gotten a chance to really see much of tributes done. I know some people said that they don't feel like GH should do it because he wasn't really on at the time. But at the end of the day, they did one for Sean Donnelly, and Sean Donnelly hadn't been on GH since like the 80s. And last I checked, his last most recent one was when he was on Passions, and they did one for him. So
Yeah.
I get it, but I just I just feel like given the sensitivity of it, some shows should do something for him. I don't know if they plan to or not, but I mean, what is your take on it? How you feel like people are handling it?
I mean, with why I think with YNR, they didn't really do a tribute. They just did like at the end of the episode they did R.I.P. Billy and stuff like that. Um, so it's one of those things where it's like it's a very tricky thing to do. You
Yeah,
know, especially when you have a new actor that's not there playing because it's not like with Jackie, Jackie Z or whatever. It's not like they had a new actress that came in and started playing, and it was like, all right, well, how's this going to look? And the same thing with Sonia Eddies. It
wait,
was
did
a
they
little
do a
bit
tribute for
different.
Jackie Z?
No, they didn't do one yet, but you know that they are.
It's coming. Yeah, it's coming.
Um, but yeah, especially with with Sonya Eddies, it's not like they actually had another person that came in, which is playing Epiphany. So it's like I guess it was easier to sit there and maybe do an episode, kind of a tribute thing. Um, but with Billy, now that they got Drew that's playing them, it's like, well, how are they gonna do that? I know they did something towards the end of the episode, so
I feel like this is the thing. I feel like back in the days of SoapNet, soaps were able to take their time with things like this. Like I feel like they could have done like a tribute episode or something like that. But now soaps are like, okay, we got runtime. We got to quick. Let's get out of here. Like even the intros are short now these days on shows. People just don't give a damn anymore. Um, I get that part, but I just feel like given how he died, given he's part of this industry, given how what he's brought to these shows, why can't they just give this man even 5 minutes at the end of an episode where they can just talk about him or some kind of if his family's okay with that also, by the way, because I noticed they never really did a tribute for Stefano Demira. Like that was weird, and I think that probably was because of his family that they maybe didn't want that, because I'm like, the guy's been on the show for 30 years. Like Victor got a whole storyline out of this. We never got that
yeah,
stuff. In fact, Days never really killed him off either. Technically he could still be floating around somewhere. They never really technically killed off Stefano on Days. That was because I think when Stefano was in the jail and Shane Donovan ripped off the mask, that was Joseph Moscalo's last scene, and they just left it as that. So they left it as in this way, like Stefano's always on the run, kind of thing. But they never really killed him off. So it's kind of like I would hope with Billy Mill they can give him some kind of, because just give him how he died, just some sensitivity to that, and not make it like a big fu to the face. You know what I mean? Um, something, just something, if they
well,
could. Go ahead.
no, what I was gonna sit there and say was, it was just going back to the conversation we had before, as far as like people assuming that they're not people, they're not real people like everyone else. They don't have problems
Yeah,
like everyone else. And, just to kind of sit there and realize that, yeah, they may have money, they may have fame, they may have popularity, but they still go through the same things that we go through. They
yeah,
still go through their ups and downs. They still go through, depression, bipolar. Um, I'm not going to sit there and really get into the full extent because how Billy Miller passed away.
yeah,
That's a thing for everyone. Doesn't matter if he's making a bunch of money or if we're just there just doing YouTube for fun. We all have those issues.
yeah,
Um, and I guess it's important to sit there and remember that, and that goes for any soap opera actor. Reese Bernard, he has bipolar. You know, like yeah, he's sunny and stuff like that. He's whatever, and he makes a bunch of money and stuff like that. But you got to remember, at the end of the day, he's still a person. He's still
yeah,
going to go through ups and downs, and I think it's important to sit there and remember that, and not just look at them like, oh, well, they don't really go through the same stuff that we go through and stuff like that. It's like, okay, they may have an easier time paying their bills, but that does not mean on an emotional level that they're going through some of the stuff that we're going through. You
yeah.
know?
I wish people had more of the sensitivities, and I think sometimes they say when they see people on TV, they are kind of separated from that reality. This is still a person, still an individual. I mean, his mom has lost him, and also his other family members, and so it's a sad thing. It's a really sad thing when I see stuff like that. Like even Christoph St. John, like his son had like I don't know if it was his son the year before had went through something, an overdose, something like that, I believe, and then next he goes through something similar next year. So like his wife had suffered a loss twice, her son and then Christoph St. John and Young and Restless, and it's people think these actors actually living these cushy lives. They're really not. They're really they go through stuff just like everybody else. It's just a job, like And I know people think because they have money, or even they do have money, that's easier, but that's how it may just appear. Because honestly, I personally believe that having more money just magnifies who you already are. So whatever issues you have, they're just gonna be magnified more when you get the money. That's all it is. And so I don't know if people can realize that. So these soap stars, I feel for them. I feel for Billy Miller. And this is why, like, why I'm always so nice by reviews, because I know sometimes these are people who put themselves out there. These action actors, they put themselves out there in the big screen, and that's not an easy thing to do. And I get that's why maybe some people in GH are very overprotective of a certain character. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
I I get it to some aspect. So I'll leave that there. I'll get it to some aspect. So
But then you even sit there and look at, let's say, Steve Burns and his wife or his ex-wife. You know,
that
like
situation.
and it's one of those things where it's like the minute that happened, people like started really coming after his wife or his ex-wife, whatever, calling him names and everything like that. And I'm just like, you do realize that like breakups happens to everyone, right? Like, and the people that was sitting there going really hard. First of all, I was like, I'm pretty sure Steve wouldn't want his fans to be really attacking her on that level, you know?
Especially
Like,
when she's pregnant.
exactly. And on top of that, it's like, well, the people that's doing that, it's like, would you want somebody to be going after your ex husband or your ex wife, whatever, going on that same level?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, you think just because she's married to a celebrity that makes it okay? And even the whole thing with Chad Duell and what was her name? Sally, I can't remember her name.
Courtney Hope plays
Yeah,
Satisfactory.
yeah. People was sitting there saying, "Oh, well, Michael did this," or it's like they go through breakups like everyone else. The difference is it's more public, and you have to
Right.
constantly be reminded of that breakup because because of where they are. So if you had a really tough breakup, you can just deal with it by yourself if you're just average Joe Schmo. But when you're on that level, it's like it's thrown in your face.
Yeah.
People want you to sit there. People will constantly sit there and ask you about it.
Yeah.
And they forget that. Well, if I went through a breakup, I wouldn't want to sit there and have 20 something people ask me, "Well, how did it happen? Did it hurt? Whose fault was it?" It's like there's still people at the end of the day, you
Right.
know.
Right. Can I ask you a question just real quick? I know we have to go in a little bit, but just want to ask you, do you feel like as a YouTuber, do you feel like you consider yourself to be a public figure?
Um, yes, but it's very weird because I feel like it's a very pompous kind of. It's like the same like having fans,
Uh,
you know. Like it's what I'm saying. Like if you sit there and say you have fans, doesn't that feel kind of weird?
it does. It's
Yeah,
so weird. I mean, we're movie stars, so it's possible, right?
yeah. I guess so. And we also forgot about that too.
Movie stars. That's still
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
But yeah, yeah.
But I mean, do you also feel that we're public figures though?
Yes and no at times because I feel like we are more public. Like, okay, we have people in the chat talking, chit chatting, but how many people in this chat here have their faces visible and are out here like we are? It's very not a lot of people. Not a lot of people are. So we're more visible. We're more at times even accessible. So it does feel like we're like public figures sometimes. So I feel like I have to be mindful of what I say or do on my channel because it's out there. But it does feel like that. It does kind of feel like we're public figures. I mean, we've had people from the show on our channel. You've
Yeah,
had Nathaniel Gray. I've had Fido, Xavier. Like we've had people. We got a lot of comment. Look at you, Mr. Boss. We got a lot of comment over here.
yeah, yeah. No, no, and that's definitely true. And sometimes even like I sat there and I said, I did a review, and then I had to sit there and look back at it and be like, I've been in that position. When I was talking about the whole Carly and her lashing out and stuff like that, and I had to sit there and think about that, be mindful because I know, you know, people do go through that every day. you
Yeah.
know. And granted, yeah, I can sit there and make fun and be like, oh, I could be a dick or whatever, but like, I'm never going out my way to sit there and try to make people feel bad or say something sexist or racist or anything like that. Not
Right.
because I'm not that person, but just because I like to be mindful of how other people feel. You know, like
Right.
even, and I'm not gonna sit there and say names, but there are certain times I can sit there and mention certain celebrities or certain characters, but I know because of how it makes other people feel, it's like I'm more mindful about that.
Right, right. That's the thing too, because it's like what we put out there, it's out there for a long time. Like I told you, there was one video on my channel. I think I'm gonna have to put it on private because of other things now that I'm thinking about. But it's like there's whatever all the stuff we put out there, it's out there. It's out there for the longest time. And I mean, I feel pretty much 99% comfortable with all the stuff I put out there on my channel. I think nothing is that bizarre or anything, right? But I think about that because once again, I don't have a social media anymore, so this is kind of like is my social media in a sense. But it's also like I said, like where people from the shows are even finding us. Think about that. Like
Yeah.
Fido found me, Daniel found you. So you know what I mean? We didn't go scurrying for that. So it's like that means people are listening to our voices. And so like being mindful of what it is that we do with that and our voices
So
and like
do you feel like
how
that we, because of that, do you feel that we move a little bit different? Or do you feel like we should move a little bit different?
yes and no. Yes and no. Because it's like it's us moving the way we moved that got our voices to get to the point where they were able to be recognized. But then also, like I said, yeah, being mindful because we want to. I'm sure we want to be able to have a channel where we feel like we could have people on. We give our reviews, give our assessments, but it's never coming off in a way where people feel like they couldn't come on or do stuff with us. I feel like we've handled ourselves in a decent way where people love it. I mean, you have a member of the GH cast that's a member of your channel. Let that sink in for a second.
Yeah, that's
Let that just sink in. Okay. How
I
many
still
other
have.
top YouTubers have that?
Yeah, as I have not let that sink in. Like I really have. There's times I'll sit there and wake up, or I'll sit there and even like last night or whatever, I was talking to Nathaniel or whatever. We were just sitting there just talking it
Just
all
laughing,
through
just
whatever
talking
about.
randomly to a
Yeah,
cafe.
exactly. Just yeah.
Just randomly talking.
And then I woke up and I was like, I sat there. I was like, I was talking to Nathaniel Gray about the chat or whatever that was going on. The time before. I a lot of stuff doesn't always set in. Or sometimes I sit there and wake up and be like some of the stuff I've done, or even just talking to Daniel, just like I'll sit there and wake up and I have an opening. I was like, that really happened, you know. And I guess I like that because it's like it keeps me humble, you know, because it's like I'm just so surprised and grateful that it's like this stuff is happening. I'm just taking it in, you know.
Right, right. Because I mean, like I think, like I said, the opportunities that afford us, like I said, it does make one to be completely mindful of things, right? Like for example, like I reached out to Candice Mack because like, oh, always want to be her audio drama forever and a day, and I didn't even know this until recently. But like on that audio drama, she's had people from other soaps consult that are helping them write the stories and everything. And I didn't even know that. I did not know that. Like the actress who played Tina Lord was a consultant on their podcast for the past 3 seasons. And I remember hearing the name Andrea Evans, but it didn't really like click to me when I was listening to it on the road. And I was like, holy crap, I didn't know that. Tina Lord was like your consultant. Like what? Blew my mind. Right? Blew my mind. And so like it just makes me mindful of the opportunities that we're given. Like even right now for you being a YouTuber, being a paid YouTuber, being, having these people on come on your channel. I mean, Nathaniel Gray was, and see, you didn't have to go looking for it. Remember I told you, Albert, I said, you don't have to go
Yes, you
looking
did.
for it. Remember I told you? And the person who said to me was, how the hell you gonna make that happen? Like, I don't really get it. Like, you gotta do something for that, DC. I told you.
You're right. And somebody in the chat or whatever, I think yesterday was like, oh, you should sit there and reach out to this person to be on your channel. And I was like, no, because I think if I'm doing this, hopefully this person will sit there and watch my channel and be like, oh, you know what? This guy is cool. Let me sit there and come on there. Or let me just sit there and say what's up in the chat or whatever. It's I actually sat there and I took something from your playbook. It's like, if something's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. You know? I'm not gonna be sitting there being all quote unquote thirsty and be like, oh, could you come on my channel? Could you come on my channel? It's like, no, I like to sit there and think that my channel is good enough that everyone uses YouTube. You're gonna use YouTube at some point. You're probably gonna wind up seeing my video maybe, and maybe you'll come on. You know?
And it's better that way because they'll take more of initiative to like really see you through when they love you as much as opposed to you love them as much. Because then it's like they're looking at like I don't really know your channel, but I'll see what time again you said. But like when they like
Yeah.
you, they make the effort and they're excited and they're like you know what I'm saying? It's just a different type of energy. And so because I remember I told you that one day, you said to me, DC, you ever thought about having people on a channel? I was like, yeah, if it comes to me. They're like, well, how the hell is it gonna come to you?
I did say that. I did say that.
And to be honest, I wasn't sure at that time, but I'm like, I just didn't want to force it. I mean, if you look at Jacarius, he's had Johnny Demera, he's had now Eric
Yep.
Brady, Greg Vaughn, like, like what?
Yeah.
Like,
And I forgot the actor that plays Johnny, but he actually follows Jakari's on Instagram. I'm just like, bro, I was like, you got Johnny Demera following you. Like, not only that, but like, even when he was doing the interview, or whatever, it's like just the simple fact that Johnny Demera actually said Jakari's name. Like he knows Jakari's.
that
That's
is,
like I wake up sometimes. I'm just like, that's just so mind blowing. I'm just like, I'm so impressed by that. You know?
it's my because listen, when I started his YouTube channel, I had no idea. Like I saw your and Brock's channel come up because I definitely remember Brock's. I remember James through the years, right, as well. And so, like I said, one day we were all on a Zoom together, on live stream together. I remember thinking after, I was like, holy shit, like I saw all these guys come before me, and now I'm like right up here, it's like the five families of souls, what I'm saying? I'm coming like this woo, like I'm one of the power players now. It had to sink in with me. Because like I said, I'm not gonna say I grew up with Rock TV, but I just remember him back my days in college, back in 2011, 2012, when I was in my dorms watching Rock TV. I was usually pissed off because I was trying to watch the real GH episode and his video came up. But I loved him just the same. But then to be on there with him, and then with you, when I first started 2 years ago, I saw your video come up. Your and Brock's came up, and then James, I remember him from AfterBuzz TV and the reviews he gave from time to time. That was a full circle moment for me. That was a legit full circle moment for me. I never thought that would have ever have happened. Honestly, like when I started, I never thought that was like I never fathomed that. And the interviews, and then just this and all this other stuff, and I just never fathomed it. So
Yeah, I think that's kind of like the best surprise though. It's like you weren't sitting there really trying to seek it. It's just stuff that just happened.
exactly.
And I think that was probably the best part, because you didn't sit there and try, you didn't sit there and try to come up with stats, but it was just like, hey, if it happens, it happens, and you're just gonna go along for the ride. And that's what you've been doing, and it's been working out for you as far as your channel is concerned.
Right. Because I mean,
You
oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna sit there and say you blew past most people's channels, um, as far as like in the soap world. You just started. How about that? You just started and you blew past most people as far as in our circle of soap, soap commentaries.
And we were like four men doing soaps. We're all together this live stream. Like that was crazy. And the three of you guys, like this, like the head honchos, you guys are doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was such a cool moment for me. Like this is why I love doing this because, like I said, it's not only a break from everything else for me, but just to have my love of soaps because there's somebody in my life I could talk to about soaps. Nobody watches
Yeah.
soaps. Everybody's corny as hell. Nobody watches soaps. This is like the only chance I have to really have that. So to me, like I said, I think it's amazing. It's amazing to, like I said, be able to have this opportunity to do all this. So I'm really grateful. That's why I was like, I still have to keep doing my vidits. I have to whenever I can, whenever I can. But I love it, and I think a different me shows up now when I do what I'm able to, when I want to, as opposed to when it felt like an obligation in the past.
Yeah, and and it's funny too because like I noticed that and I was like, it's much less pressure the way that you're doing it now. You don't feel like you have to sit there and keep up with the Joneses and be like, oh, I gotta sit there and do this review on this, or I got to sit there and put out something.
Right,
Because I was like, the minute that you sit there and say you have to put out something, it's like, then it's like, what was the reason why you're doing it for in the first place? You're doing it for the fun and love of it, not just to put out something because you want to appease your audience.
right, right, right.
You know, that's the important part. Um, any last things you want to sit there and say before we close this out?
Last words. I know it's 11 o'clock, so
New York time. No, but I'm saying if there's anything you want to sit there and say before we close out, though.
I just want to say, guys, thank you so much, just for your guys' support for both our channels. Um, just thank you guys for support for just rocking for me. I just want to thank you guys. I know a lot of my subscribers are subscribers, so I feel like I'm speaking to the same folks. But I just thank you guys. Thank you guys for the support. It means a lot to me. I just love, like I said, being a come here, like I said, when I come here, it ignites this thing in me, it ignites it in me, you know. So I'm working on some new videos right now. It's those videos of the editing, so it's going to take a while. Because I haven't done one of those in a while, but I'm just grateful for this. So, and I will see you guys in the next video. That's what I will say for me. What about you? What say you, Mr. Bostic of Love Enterprise?
Me, you know how it is. Listen, I do want to sit there and thank everyone for joining. This was actually a lot of fun. Um, I always sit there and say, like, at the end of the day, I'm just a host. I just come on and I'm just a host. It's pretty much everyone here that makes these live streams so fun. That makes me so comfortable where it's like I don't take myself too seriously. We can all sit there and joke, just have a good time. And it's because of y'all. Y'all are the people that do make these live streams fun. When I sit there and say hit the like button, it gets more people to the party. And we just have a great time. So y'all are really just making this channel as great as it is. So I cannot thank y'all enough. I cannot thank y'all enough. So just thank you. Thank you, Janet. Thank you, Queen Janet. Thank you, everyone, for joining. This was so much fun. If you're not subscribed to DC at this point, I just go and subscribe to his channel. I know everyone is at this point, but if you're not, just head over there. Support my guy DC.
Route to the sanctuary.
Yes,
I don't
DC
do that
Soap
enough.
Sanctuary. Not the opposite name I used to then call him because I'm very bad with names and stuff. But yes, thank you, Janet. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe, and we will see you in the next video,
All right,
a live
guys.
stream,
The next one.
or both. Laters.